WBGU 88.1 FM here in Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Bowling Green hockey versus Western Michigan hockey. I'm Ben Korak from the Falcon Media Sports Network here, as I said, in Lawson Ice Arena. Very excited for the first away trip of the 2024-2025 ice hockey season for Bowling Green State University. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or follow us on BG_FMSN on Twitter. And for the rebroadcast of this and all other sports games, go to bgfalconmedia.com YouTube channel as well. It should be a very exciting game between the Falcons and Western Michigan. They've been fairly tight in recent years, although Western Michigan has beaten Bowling Green 4 out of their last 4 matchups. So 4 in a row, Bowling Green is not able to beaten the Broncos. But Western Michigan did not have the greatest year last year, although they have started very strong this year. They finished 21-16-1 in total record last year, 11-13 in their conference, the NCHC, which is the strongest conference in college hockey, I would argue. They finished 6th in the NCHC. So did not have a fantastic season in conference, but out of conference they did do very well. Again, that 21-16-1, 2 of those wins coming against Bowling Green in Bowling Green. They started the year this year 2-0. Ferris State, their only competition, last Friday and Saturday. They won 4-1 and 5-1, so outscoring the Bulldogs 9-2 across 2 games. Ferris State maybe slightly better than Mercyhurst, who was Bowling Green's first and only true recorded matchup this season. But nevertheless, very similar performances between the Falcons and Western Michigan to start their 2024-2025 season. Strong players from Kalamazoo, sophomore center Grant Slukinski, 1 goal, 2 assists, a +2 rating in his 2 games played. His right winger, Owen Michaels, 2 goals and a +4 rating. And then maybe one of the most impressive players on the team, the grad student defenseman, Brian Kramer, 2 assists, a +6 rating with 5 blocks for him in 2 games. He's probably the best defenseman. He's on that second line of defensemen. Number 14, he'll be on the left today for the Broncos, wearing brown and gold. And then the goaltenders have had very strong 2 games. They've split, unlike the Falcons. Hampton Slukinski has a game, 1 goal allowed for 28 saves. And then the grad student and starter last year, Cameron Rowe, 1 game, 1 goal, and 17 saves. He is a 2-season transfer from Wisconsin in his 2 years starting with Western Michigan. He's had 2 years starting with Western Michigan. Last season, he had a 21-16-1 record. If you recall, that is the record of the Broncos last season. So he played every single game in the net. A .903 save percentage, 2.47 goals allowed per average, and 2 shutouts, and one of the strongest conferences in college hockey, if not the, against teams like North Dakota and Denver as well, both of whom went very far in the NCAA tournament last year, and he was the goaltender of record against both of those teams. On the side of the Falcons have played very strong, and we saw that both through the first 2 games against Mercyhurst and then the last 2 exhibition games. If you were able to go watch the Simon Fraser game, we did not have a broadcast, but we did have one for Robert Morris, so you could have gone to that one or listened on WBGU 88.1 FM. But the Falcons took 2 against Mercyhurst. We did not broadcast those. We did broadcast a Robert Morris game, which the Falcons won. I believe in the end it was 7-2. And then against Simon Fraser, they finished 4-1 in a high-scoring first period. And then nothing after, but there was a little bit more excitement on the ice. And one of the main things that I enjoyed watching about that Simon Fraser game was the fact that there was no captains besides Dalton Norris in the lineup for the Falcons. They had a lot of very new players, a lot of mixed up lines, and a lot of guys got assists, got points, which was very nice to see. And even later in the games, you saw a very increased level of play. Even though maybe the scoring hunger wasn't there for the Falcons, they were still able to play very solid hockey, not let Simon Fraser on the board either, which is a very key part of hockey. You got to keep goals off of the board as well. So they played quite well. Ryan O'Hara was kind of a story of last weekend because he had 2 goals in the first game against Robert Morris, both of them exhibition. But in the exhibition, 2 goals, still an impressive display from him after only having 2 assists going into that game. So he has 2 unofficial goals paired with his 2 official assists on the season, but he was benched in the second game, probably just to get some younger guys time. He is back in the lineup today on the left wing with Ville Amonen and Brody Waters, so that's a production line for the Falcons that I don't foresee that changing very much going forward. It's been like that for 3 of the 4 games of the season, and again, of the other one, Ville Amonen and Ryan O'Hara were not playing for the Falcons. Brett Foe as well has had a phenomenal start to the season, 2 goals and a Forward of the Week award after the 2 Mercyhurst games. He had the game opener and the game winner in the second game against Mercyhurst. Fantastic for him. He was the second highest scorer last season for the Falcons, and he started this year very strong as well. Not one of the guys that you'll see be putting hits on the boards or forechecking that much, but he does make phenomenal passes, and he does make some great plays with the puck. He's very shifty. He's got some good wheels out there as well, so definitely looking for some good things from forward Brett Foe. Brody Waters as well is the team's highest scorer, although Brett Foe was honored with the Forward of the Week award for the only true week that the Falcons have played games. Waters has 2 goals, 1 assist. He had a goal in each game against Mercyhurst, is with an assist in the first game. He's the highest scorer through the 2 games, and he also had 1 goal in the exhibition game. I believe that was against Robert Morris in the first game of exhibition play last week. And then junior Dalton Norris, who's one of my favorite players on the team, the defenseman. He's a high offensive defenseman. He feels like a kind of guy that can get a point almost in every game. He gets assists, he gets goals. He has a wicked slap shot from that far wheel as we look at it. That would be the left wheel, I guess, if you were looking at the half rink. He has 2 goals and 2 assists so far in the season, and he had great exhibition games as well as great performances against Mercyhurst 2 weeks ago as well. And then players worth mentioning that are newcomers and you may not be as familiar with. The grad student Ville Amonen is the first-line setter for the Falcons and assistant captain. So Dennis Williams, Coach Willie definitely very impressed with him, putting him on the first line and also as an assistant captain as a transfer from Union College. He has very strong face-off percentage, filling in for where Spencer Kirsten and Josh Nodler very much excelled in last year. And he's a great passer as well. And he's a big body. His play without the puck is very strong. I mean, at 6'3", 205 as a forward, you can hit like a defenseman. He's bigger than a lot of the defensemen Bowling Green has. And to have that guy on the forecheck is very, very, very strong for the Falcons. Good things can only come from having that much size and a decent amount of college hockey experience up in the front. And then Matvey Kabanov and Maxwell Martin, you're going to hear those names a little bit later in our pregame. But Kabanov is a player that has really impressed me with his the sophomore out of transfer from Northern Michigan. He is not afraid to hit anybody. He's a very strong player. He's not overly big. He's 6 foot, 181, so not very wide as well as not very big, but he is a relentless player. He is probably not going to be expected to get a whole lot of points, but that's where his line mate today, Maxwell Martin, comes into play, because I am expecting him to get a lot of points this season. The freshman, 6 foot, 188, similar size to Matvey Kabanov, but his game approach is a lot different. He likes to go for the assists. He likes to take it coast to coast. He likes to go for the net on every play. So it's kind of that dynamic that we would like to see out of 2 guys on the same line between Martin and Kabanov. Hopefully we'll see that going forward in the season. Kabanov, the more hard-hitting, gritty player, and Martin, the scorer. He does only have 1 assist on the season, but he had 2 recorded goals in the exhibition games, 1 against Robert Morris, 1 against Simon Fraser. Some very impressive performances. He's also quite a fast player, Maxwell Martin, and he's an NAHL MVP, the highest credential any Falcon has been given. So it definitely some outstanding play from both of those players, who earn maybe not starts, but they earn the starting lineup today. The scratches for the Falcons are Michael Bevilacqua, Brandon Santawana, Adam Zonka, Adam Shankula, Braden Krieger, Owen Ozar, Jack Blake, goalies Christian Stover and Salvador Evola. I will read you the lineup as well and read you the starting lineup when we come back. So Ryan O'Hara, Ville Amonen, and Brody Waters, the first line. Maxwell Martin, Ethan Scardina in the center, and Matvey Kabanov, the second line. Brett Foe and Quinn Emerson, the wingers, with Ben Duran for the third line. Jackson Niedermeyer, the transfer, with Jaden Grant and Seth Fighton for the fourth line. On the defense, Dalton Norris and Gustav Stjernberg, who is going to be a key defensive unit for the Falcons. Stjernberg with a great level of defensive ability, Dalton Norris with a great level of offensive ability, kind of the best of both worlds when we get to see power plays, hopefully more for the Falcons than we have penalty kills. But when we get to see power plays, Dalton Norris should be the defenseman on the ice for the Falcons along with 4 forwards. They do like to play that system, so that's what we can see out of that defensive line. So Norris and Sternberg, the first defensive line, the second Ben Wozni and Eric Parker, and the third Breck McKinley and Tommy Passanen, with Nico Hennison, the extra skater, without a defensive partner, but he does a little bit of everything. Good defense, very good offensive ability as well at only 5'11", 181. He's a little bit shifty. He's got some moves, more of a forward-playing defense, and it's going to be good for the Falcons to see. Hopefully out of him, they can get him on the board. And then Cole Moore, as well as the expected goaltender. Pete Eigner is on the bench. We saw him with a little bit of time in the last 8 minutes of the Simon Fraser game. He did very well. 2 saves, no goals allowed. But Cole Moore on the season, he has 2 games played, 2 wins, 2 for 8 goals allowed per game, and a .925 save percentage. Starting this season where he left off last season as one of the best goalies in the CCHA as a freshman. He's only a sophomore now, 6'6", 198. He is absolutely massive, absolutely a wall. He's going to be key for the Falcons come away with the win in this game. So it has come to that time where we bring in our board operators, Tyler Kavelitz and Nick Windholtz, to talk to us a little bit about their goal predictions for today. So Tyler and Nick, welcome.
Thank you, Ben. It's great, first of all, to have a broadcaster back on the road for Bowling Green hockey. Love that. But I'm going to have to go with a guy that you really featured in your pregame so far, Maxwell Martin. Very fast freshman. He's on the second line tonight with Skardina and Kamenov. He had unofficial goals in the exhibitions against Robert Morris and an unassisted one against Simon Fraser. So I'm going to look for him to get his first official goal for Bowling Green here today.
And tonight I'm going to go with Brett Foe. He had 2 against Mercyhurst, and then he also had 1 against Robert Morris. He also had assists against Simon Fraser, so I think he has a pretty good chance of scoring a goal tonight.
Nick Windholtz with the pick of Brett Foe, one of our phenomenal camera operators for the Falcon Media Sports Network, and Tyler Kavelitz, our production director for the Falcon Media Sports Network, who chose Maxwell Martin as his goal pick. I will be choosing Dalton Norris today, and I touched on it a little bit. You might be able to tell. He's one of my favorite players, especially as a defenseman. He has incredible offensive ability, especially from through the slot and behind the wheels. He does have a very wicked slap shot. Looking for him to get on the board today. We'll keep you updated as the game goes on if anybody lands our goal picks, and if anything like the Simon Fraser game or the Robert Morris game, we will have duplicates of our goal picks, and we're definitely hoping for that, not just for individual wins, but a Bowling Green win as well over Western Michigan for the first time in 2 years. We will step aside for pregame ceremonies. When we bring you back, we'll have starting lineups and puck drop here in Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan on WBGU 88.1 FM.
You're listening to 88.1 FM WBGU. Enjoy local news content starting with the morning show, and stick around for entertainment programs focused on jazz, blues, folk, world music, and so much more. Return to Radio Freedom with WBGU by listening live 24/7. Available locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online on bgfalconmedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
This Friday, October 18th, the men's and women's cross-country regular season comes to a close with the Falcon Invite here in Bowling Green. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for Falcon Media Sports Network's recap of the event.
Falcon Volleyball heads to the Rubber City for a matchup against the Akron Zips on Friday, October 18th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil on the call at 5:45 for pregame and 6 p.m. for first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
WBGU-FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Tune in daily for local programming that includes the morning show, oldies, indie rock, children's music, folk, jazz, world music, and so much more. WBGU is the return to radio freedom. Give us a listen on 88.1 FM or online at bgfalconmedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Hey, this is Dan Dockage. I used to coach here. Now I'm on TV. On radio, listen to WBGU FM 88.1 for the best in BGSU sports coverage.
Falcon women's tennis heads east for the Cleveland State Invitational on Friday, October 18th through Saturday, October 20th. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for Falcon Media Sports Network's recap of the event.
Hello, Falcons. I'm Dontrez Brown. I play defensive line here, and my Falcon 4 favorite TV shows is SpongeBob, Regular Show, Adventure Time, and iCarly. I like SpongeBob because, just growing up, just seeing it on TV, it just made me laugh, and it still makes me laugh today. Adventure Time and Regular Show is kind of a mix. They just always have me laughing. And then iCarly, Sam Puckett is super funny, so. Go Falcons.
Falcon Women's Soccer battles Eastern Michigan at Cochran Stadium on Thursday, October 24th. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and a recap for the match available on bgfalconmedia.com.
Titans go! When the Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely.
Hollywood, here we come! Road trip! And you know it's super.
To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly. We're finally on the big screen.
Have a seat, my dude. For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Gotcha. That's a wise move.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, He knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back to Lawson Ice Arena. Bowling Green State University Hockey versus Western Michigan University Hockey. I am Ben Korak from the Falcon Media Sports Network here in Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan, on the campus of the Western Michigan Broncos. We have starting lineups here in the press box, so I will read them to you right now. On the left wing for Western Michigan, Alex Bump. Down the center, Matteo Constantini. On the right, Tristan Lemire. The goaltender is Cameron Rowe, with his defensemen being Sam Scholand and Una Väisänen. For Bowling Green, Willie starting the fourth line of forwards and the second line of defensemen. So that will be Jackson Niedermeyer, Jaden Grant, and Seth Fighton on the forward side, Ben Wozni and Eric Parker on the defensive side, and Cole Moore in the crease for the Falcons, as we could expect. No surprises there. The Falcons wearing all brown with their orange and white piping. Western Michigan wearing their white with brown shorts and white helmets. The first time that the Falcon Media Sports Network has seen an away game for the Falcons in 2 years. Didn't travel last year, hopefully looking to travel a lot more this year. Jaden Grant for the faceoff, bumps heads with Matteo Constantini. Good start to the game as the Falcons win their first faceoff. Ben Wozni in his own zone, looking up and in. Jaden Grant can't complete it. Good hit from Seth Fighton, trying to work it away. Puck clears now to center ice. Eric Parker holds onto it, into the zone with Fighton, and he was offsides. Niedermeyer got a little bit too antsy. He had some open ice ahead of him in the slot. Nevertheless, play will be called back outside of the zone. And that will send grad student Ville Amonen to the box for the Falcons. Constantini still in the game for Western, loses the faceoff to Imonen. So 2 wins for the Falcons, and an aspect of the game that they have been very strong. Faceoff circles have been so beneficial for the Falcons. Now Krusberg, Rosine is bumped in the neutral zone, kicking it back to the Falcons. O'Hara keeps it in. Kicks it through. Got some open ices. Waters will not beat Tim Washi back. Hit on the near side to get the puck free. Western Michigan skating into the zone, trying to find a pass. Waters covers the cross, taking it back to the blue line, rings it all the way back around. Owen Michaels leaves it up. They can keep it inside the zone. This is Maxwell Martin showing off that speed and shiftiness. Still has the puck. Trying to push it and getting it free was Zach Sharp. Sharp can't get it free. Scardina, across the crease. He had a chance there. Brett McKinley now behind the goal line. Hit from Maxwell Martin to get the puck free, but it clears to a white jersey. Valenti gets it to Scardina. Scardina into the zone because his guys were offsides. Kabanoff giving a forecheck. Center ice hit. Can't get the puck free. Gets it back to Valenti. Valenti up into the zone. Now Imonen gets it free to Parker. Parker, nice flip up the ice. Good play from Brett Foe to get it outside of the zone. It's cleared back in. Now Wozni. Woz trying to get it free. Can't do it. Gets it to Quinn Emerson. Quinn Emerson now with the puck. Leaves it into the zone for Väisänen. Väisänen way across trying to find Owen Michaels. He can do it. Hit into the boards. Good check from Quinn Emerson. Trying to get the puck free. Now neutral zone. We got a 2-on-1. Can they get it across? Oh, what a chance. Sam Scholand can't land it for Western Michigan, so Bowling Green comes up with some benefit there on the 2-and-1 break. They now take it into the neutral zone. Quinn Emerson blows a tire, loses the puck. Väisänen has all the space in the world to gather this one. Takes it through his D zone. Cursory forecheck by Quinn Emerson, but he skates to the bench. Now we got an odd man rush for Jaden Grant. Grant with the shot into Cameron Rowe. He saves it. Good save from Rowe. Looks like Jaden Grant cuffed him just a little bit with that lefty glove. Pressing to the boards. Western taking it up through their D zone. High forechecking from the Falcons. Seth Fighton with the forecheck gets the puck free. This one's dumped into the zone. Brian Kramer looking up, but decides to play it back as his team was going for the line change. 17 minutes left to play. Read the board wrong in Lawson Ice Arena. Beautiful ice arena, nice classic, fitting the fall air of this wonderful Thursday. Falcons today against Western Michigan, Saturday against Rochester Institute of Technology. Unfortunately, no Falcon Media Sports Network representative will be in Rochester for that game. This one is crossed. Constantini gets poked away by the Falcons. Great defensive play by them. Play off the puck is huge for Willie. We saw it right there. Ben Wozni in the D zone. Up through. This one to Duran. Duran up to Scardina. Scardina with the race. Can't get there in time. Western kicks it into the neutral zone. Martin wears a hit. Puck to Kabanoff. Kabanoff hits. So does Martin. Martin. Kabanoff. This one in. Western comes up with it. It's a 1-on-2 chance for Zach Naring. He dumps it in as he was going to get pummeled on the boards. Martin mishandles the puck. He has been everywhere so far in this game, saying a lot of Maxwell Martin's name. Puck is kicked to Cole Moore, and Cole Moore will touch it for the first time in this game, and he gloves it easily. 15:52 left to play in the first period. Score tied 0-0 between the Falcons and the Broncos. Face off to the left of Cole Moore, the far side of the Lawson Ice Arena. Yellow bleachers all around for them. It is fall break for Western Michigan University, but still a sizable crowd. Obviously, the older patrons aren't affected by the fall break, but the student section, obviously, quite well represented. Now here's a chance for the Falcons. Quinn Emerson looking in. Almost a toe drag from Brett Foe. He flips it up, but just wide of the net. Breck McKinley wears a hit, keeps it in. Quinn Emerson, that one is a hand pass from Breck McKinley as he tries to toss it to Quinn Emerson. So he tries to bowl the puck. Referees caught on, the referees for today's game. Andrew Wilk, Andy Thackerberry, Christopher Williams, and Logan Belgraf. The NCHC referees, not the CCHAs. We are in NCHC territory in Western Michigan. Tommy Possanen in his own zone. Faceoff is won by Western, but they leave it for the orange and brown. Now Ryan O'Hara giving forecheck. Bumps up against, getting it free. Owen Michaels comes up with it for the Broncos. This one near side. Western looking in, shot wide right. Cole Moore doesn't even deem it worthy to put his glove on it. Off the glass. Did it go into the bench? No, it didn't. Sholin now up to Hendricks. Hendricks near side. Kicking away, tries to center it. Seth Fighton is there to intercept. Now this one up. Clean play from both the Falcons and Western Michigan. Jaden Grant now into the zone. Behind Cameron Rowe in the net for Western. They turn it back over again. Oh, that might be a tripping. No, it's not. The hand doesn't go in the air. Jaden Grant might have got away with one there as he put what looked to be Sam Scholand on the ice. Bowling Green setting up an offensive chance. Ben Wozni tries to ring it around, pressed against the boards. Shingathy gets it wide. End of the O-zone for the Falcons. They go for a forward line change. Ben Wozni and Eric Parker still on. Wozni takes it into the zone, gets Eric Parker a line change, but it looks like it'll be icing on the Falcons after the pass from Wozni. And unfortunately, the Falcons will not get the opportunity to get a fresh set of skaters. Forwards were only on the ice for a couple of seconds before that. Scardina, Kabanoff, and Martin on the ice. Eric Parker and Ben Wozni, the defensemen, who are not allowed to change. So Parker back on the ice. This one is gloved from Cole Moore, and a smart play from Moore to get new skaters on the ice as Ben Wozni and Eric Parker looked a little bit tired at the end of that play. Now they're off for Norris and Stjernberg. Couple of shots on goal, none of them land. 14-13 left to play in the first period. Falcons and Broncos. If you want to tune into Falcon Radio, Bowling Green Volleyball is playing their match against Buffalo, who's the #1 ranking team in the MAC Conference. Sorry, I should just say the MAC, Mid-American Conference. Maxwell Martin bullying it in the zone, but can't get the puck free. This one to Zach Sharp. Sharp leaves it back. Bumped by Stjernberg, who gets the puck free, doing what he does most. I still need the NCAA to start keeping track of hits. Sternberg, I assure you, would be top of the CCHA, maybe even top of the nation in hits and pucks freed. Bowling Green trying to get the puck out of the zone. They can't do it. Puck time is split 50-50, I would say, between Western and the Falcons. Again, a stat that the NCAA does not keep track of. Would be a very informative stat, especially for the Falcons, who have dominated possession and their competitions against Mercyhurst. Simon Fraser, and there is a goal from Western Michigan. Zach Naring on the wrist shot went upper deck on Cole Moore. First score of the game for the Falcons and the Broncos. Western Michigan leads 1-0. Oddly enough, an odd man offensive rush for Western Michigan. He had two defenders there. The defenders were split, and he took a wrist shot right in the face of Cole Moore, and Moore didn't have the reaction time to save it. So BG finds himself down 1. Grant Skolinski and Kreuzberg-Rosine, the communicated assists on that one, I believe, if that stands. Brody Waters trying to get the puck free. This is pretty familiar territory for the Falcons, and they're one of their 2 other matches of the season. They found themselves down to Mercyhurst and then came all the way back, prompting Brett Foe to have a comeback game-winning effort in overtime. Now the Falcons sit at 2-0 with 4 total wins, but the exhibition games not counting for a record. Ryan O'Hara up through the zone. Can't hold on to the puck. Now Foe kicks it to him. Leaves it up into the zone. This is Imonen. Imonen in. Pokes it away. Western with the puck now. They have dominated possession in the last few minutes. 12:20 left to play in the first period. Dalton Norris behind his netminder. Cole Moore looking back, telling him to do something. This one's kicked up to Fighton. Fighton, nice between the legs pass to Jaden Grant. Jaden Grant trying to center it. He'll do so, but behind Cameron Rowe in the net for Western Michigan. Fighton still battling. Quite a gritty forward for the Falcons. Sternberg with a shot. Just high. Cameron Rowe gets a shoulder on it. This one from Passanen looked like it had a little bit of a chance. That's 2 shots in a row from defenseman. BG trying to work in toward the middle. Fighton behind it to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer barely able to keep it in. This one's a shot saved from Rowe. He didn't know where the puck was. There was a chance for the Falcons, but the white and brown come up with it instead of the orange. Falcons with a good offensive stand there. Martin leaves it into the zone for Kabanoff. Kabanoff looking for a hit, comes up with the puck. This one over to Scardina. Scardina with a low angle chance. Up in the middle. Kick to Kabanoff. Kabanoff with Martin trailing. He'll come up with it. Kabanoff kicks it across, but it finds Brian Kramer. Kabanoff into the zone. Falcon forwards go for a line change. That has been the dominant forward line for the Falcons time-wise. Ethan Scardina, Maxwell Martin, and Matvey Kabanoff. This one's centered. Sharp couldn't hold on. Takes this one back around all the way to the blue line. Looking for a shot. Pokes it away is the Falcons. Ben Duran with good stick work. Taking it down the near side. Pass over to the middle. The shot saved by Cameron Rowe on the kick. Brett Foe had a chance there but couldn't fill it. Now he fights for it behind. Ben Duran around to Dalton Norris. That would have been huge to capitalize on that chance. Brett Foe had a one-on-one with the goalie, Rowe. Rowe boats that one away. Brett Foe into the zone. Villiamonen chasing. Oh, good stick work from the Falcons right there. Villiamonen showing off the stick work. Excuse the expression, putting the defender on skates. Passanen playing defense, forces the puck away to McKinley. McKinley in his own zone. Up to Waters. Waters still trying to get out of the zone. They clear the blue line. It's up to Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara with the streak, turns it back away. Feeding it into Imonen. He can't get the pass off. This one a slap shot from Passanen. Passanen on the doorstep. It's kicked away. Sam Scholand got that one wide. Naring gives chase. McKinley across to his partner, Tommy Pasanen. Seth fighting too strong with his skate. Could have got a tripping on that one. Lays out a chance here. Saved by Cole Moore, but no defensive player was there to kick the puck away. Western Michigan up 2-0. That's another goal by Zach Naring. His second of the game, both scores coming from the freshman forward. If I am accurate in my assumption that he was the one to score the goal. BG finds themselves down 2. 4 minutes left to play in the first period. 2-0 Western Michigan over Bowling Green. Zach Sharp in the zone. And an icing will be called on the Falcons, taking the faceoff back into the Bowling Green zone. 2 goals for Zach Naring, who has found the number early against the Falcons, the Winnipeg draft pick. Only a freshman, but huge, 6'5", 190. The puck was toppling on that doorstep as Cole Moore was sliding away from the play. No Falcon was able to get his stick on it. That's on the defense for not being able to cover for a save from the Falcons. Washi leaves it into the zone. Stierenberg puts a hit, gets the puck to Martin. Martin now over the middle, kick to Kabanoff. Kabanoff into the zone. Bowling Green with a lot of good breaks here, but they can't seem to find an offensive stand. They've had some, not shots on goal, but some good chances. This one's crossed. Martin lets it go all the way, kicks it up to Kabanoff into the zone. Favorable bounce for Kabanoff. He's got a one-on-one with the defensive player. Shot is kicked off the stick of Kreuzberg-Rosine into the netting, and we'll get a face-off in the neutral zone. 2 for the Broncos, none for the Falcons. 8 minutes, 26 seconds left to play in the first period. Again, Falcon Radio, Bowling Green Volleyball is playing. You can listen to them hopefully take the third set. They're leading in sets 2-0. An exciting game against Buffalo, who's the #1 team in MAC volleyball. So that is again on Falcon Radio. Go to bgfalconmedia.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page if you're on your phone. If you're on your laptop or other computer device, it should be on the right side just below the WBGU streaming link. So 2 goals for Zach Naring. Assists for Kreuzberg, Rosine, Tyler Washi, Grant Slakinski. They find themselves in a familiar situation. 2-0 was the score after the first period of the second Mercyhurst game that the Falcons were able to climb back into. Again, looking for their first win against Western Michigan in 2 years. 3 saves for Cole Moore, 2 goals allowed, 600 save percentage if you couldn't do the math at home. No penalties yet in this game. Knock on wood. Hopefully the Castor curse doesn't come to fruition, especially with the amount of time that the Goose, Gustav Stierenberg, has played. He's normally a threat for penalties, although he is a defensive mastermind for the Falcons. The defensive lineup and just the defense in general would not be the same without Stierenberg. So Imonen battles. Oh my gosh! Face-off win from Ville Imonen and a quick shot from Brody Waters. Brody Waters, I'm sorry if that was unexciting, because just off the draw, a quick shot, and BG gets a goal back. What a fantastic play from Brody Waters, his 3rd goal of the season. 4th point of the year. Falcons narrow it down to 1 with only 1 second off the clock. So essentially nullifying one of Zach Naring's goals. Now this puck into the zone. Kind of a new energy for the Falcons now. You can already see after that faceoff. I'll make sure to call faceoffs much more strongly in this game if we're going to keep running great offensive plays like that right off the draw. Dalton Norris leaves it in for Ben Duran. Duran pushes Cam Newble. shot from Sternberg is saved, bumped out to the neutral zone. Brett Foe chasing after it lackadaisically. Quinn Emerson off the stick, bunts it down into the O zone, but none of the Falcons chase it as they go for a line change instead. This one up to Alex Bump. Bumped, couldn't find Constantini. This one to Fighton. Fighton, number 21, the 5th year. Kicks it away. Good physical play from him. We've seen a lot of that in this game. Ben Wozni fighting for his puck access. They get it out. Jaden Grant fighting for it now. This one to Fighton. Fighton presses into the boards, gets the puck free. Kicks to Lemire. Lemire to Grant. Grant to Fighton. Fighton back to Grant, and the Falcons will go for a line change on a couple of big hits, so they're trying to metaphorically take care of some of their bumps and bruises on that line. Puck near side. 1-on-1. Kabanoff can't win it. This one a low angle shot is blocked by the Falcons. Kicks up back to Kabanoff. Kabanoff is kept in by Zach Sharp. Sharp to Hampton Slakinski. This one to Breck McKinley. McKinley loses it back around, blocked by Scardina. Scardina tries to kick it up the boards but can't get it far enough. BG really trying to get it out of the O-zone and just probably get a line change in here soon, but Western is being relentless, not allowing them to get out. Near side boards, puck kicks away. Scardina goes for the body, not the puck. It was a good play. McKinley up to Kabanoff. Kabanoff near side, still pressing against the boards in front of the student section here in the Lawson Ice Arena, and it is kicked away with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the first period. 2-1 Broncos over the Falcons. Western looking for another offensive drive. This one to Naring, who has 2 goals in this game. The only 2 scored from Western Michigan. Brody Waters with the 1 for the Falcons. Villiamonen into the zone. Krusberg-Rosine getting pummeled on the boards, forces the puck free. Can the Brown come up with it? Imonen blocking the puck in. And it clears back to Naring. Naring to Washi. Washi near side. Sternberg with the open ice hit gets the puck free. O'Hara through the zone. Flips it up. Pancakes. Krusberg-Rosine. But he's able to get the puck away. This one to the middle. Over the middle of the ice. Shot blocked by the Falcons. Ben Wozni to Emerson. Emerson to Foe. Foe and Emerson quite similar players. Emerson gaining the position on this one. Leaves it in for Brett Foe. Brett Foe back skates. Leaves it in for Ben Duran. Ben Duran skates it away. Turns it back toward the blue line. Parker across to Wozni. Wozni fans on the slap shot but keeps the puck with the Falcons. Cameron Rowe blocks it and covers it up with this glove against his pad. A little bit of pushing at the end of that play, but nothing like we saw in the Simon Fraser game with the 2 fights. And the whistle will be blown. The face-off will be taken in the neutral zone. Under 5 minutes left to play in the first period. 2 for the Broncos, 1 for the Falcons. Brody Waters with the goal. Assist from Villiamonen. A bunch of one-shot games down the board for Possanen, Foe, Waters, Grant, Fighton, Wozni. Still only minus ratings on the side of the Falcons, but that quick goal off the draw from Villiamonen and then a nice wrister from Brett Foe on the near side wheel just puts it past Cameron Rowe, who now has 5 saves, 1 goal allowed. Tied in saves with Colmore, who also has 5, but 2 goals allowed for the sophomore goaltender. 5 minutes left. Broncos on the ice. Falcons still talking it over. Moore heads over to the net. Looks like Emerson, Foe, Ben Duran will stay on after the female skaters came out and shoveled up a little bit of the ice on the Western Michigan O-zone and the Falcon O-zone. So they switch forward lines at the last second to take advantage of the early shift from Western Michigan. So Imonen, O'Hara, and Brody Waters. The scoring line will probably be long-term the production line for the Falcons. No goal on the draw on this. Around to Parker. Parker with the slap shot. Saved by Cameron Rowe. He swipes on it. Just taking a snooze on that puck as he lays out completely. Stops the puck. 4:41 left to play in the first period. Again, sizable crowd in the Lawson Ice Arena. It is a stereotypical ice arena, which I love. Yellow bleachers matching the gold and brown colors of the Western Michigan Broncos, filled with a lot of Western Michigan fans, some orange as well. About a 2.5-hour drive from the city of Bowling Green to the city of Kalamazoo. Some students in the Kalamazoo student section are screaming at the Falcons right now because Wyatt Shingathy is on one knee on the near side of the ice. He now skates off, sees if he goes toward the glass, toward the locker room. That's what he's going to do. So something injured for Shingathy. We hope to see him back on the ice and hope that he is okay. 6-foot senior left winger, draft capital of the Toronto Maple Leafs, will probably be in minor hockey after this year unless he elects to use a 5th year of eligibility. Now Scardina, Martin, and Kabanoff on the ice for the Falcons. Willie taking advantage of the early shifting from Western Michigan. Up into the zone, kicked up, Kabanoff centers it to Scardina, but it's intercepted by Western Michigan. This one through the zone, blocked by the Falcons and away. This one to Michaels. Michaels on the near side, bumped by a brown jersey. Scardina across, trying to clear it out of the zone. They can do it. Sam Cholin chases. So does Kabanoff. Kabanoff, a strong forechecker for the Falcons. As we mentioned in the pregame, he and Maxwell Martin, complementary players playing in the same line. Martin shifty and offensive-minded. Kabanoff, quite the opposite, a nice gritty player. Play off the puck is huge for him. Ben Duran pokes into the zone. Now this one to Foe. Foe with good stick work, trying to get a shot off, but he can't do it. He's mugged by multiple Broncos. Emerson gets it away. Duran goes for the body. Puck to Sternberg. Sternberg can't kick it and keep it in the zone. Norris across to Foe. Foe with the stick slap. Gets in the D zone of the Falcons. 3:15 left to play in the first period. Falcons and Broncos in Kalamazoo. The Goose leaves it in the O zone for the Falcons. Jackson Niedermeyer giving chase. Good play, makes a couple of passes happen for Western Michigan. Now more bullying happening from Jaden Grant. Seth Fighton comes over, joins the party. BG can't keep it on sides. Western Michigan comes up with it. That's Zach Sharp. Sharp into the boards and into the referee. Now the puck is centered to Western Michigan. Zach Sharp takes a cursory shot. Colmore gloves it, looks for the pass, but decides, I'll just hold on to this one. And he goes it with 2:40 left to play in the first period. 2 for the Broncos, 1 for the Falcons. Nearing the end. So again, little recap. Zach Naring, the first 2 goals of the game. Got a 2-0 lead for Western Michigan, and then only a minute or so later, a draw from Ville Immonen resulted in a perfect pass to Brody Waters. Waters takes the shot and beats Cameron Rowe for the first time in this game. The score stands as I have just described, 2-1. This one is waved offside, so it'll be on the Bowling Green favored side of the neutral zone. O'Hara, Immonen, and Waters, the production line for the Falcons. We'll probably see 3 shifts left in this first period and the 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Wozni and Parker. Back to Parker. Now up into the neutral zone from the Falcons. Brody Waters kicks it up. Playing hopscotch with his stick and his puck. Little bit of a rush here from Western Michigan, but they just dump it in, go for a line change. Parker to Waters. Waters to O'Hara. O'Hara with a nice pass over the middle to Immonen. Immonen's kicked away by Tristan Lemire. Sam Scholand up. Defenseman up to Constantini. Sternberg turns it back around to Emerson. Emerson trying to get it out of the zone. He can do it. Maxwell Martin to Alex Bump. Alex Bump. Wow, what a good move by Alex Bump to take it into the inside. He still has the puck. What another phenomenal toe drag move. Maxwell Martin catches the body, gets the puck away, but not to diminish the stick work that Alex Bump had on that play. Minute and a half left to play. Move forwards for the Falcons as Martin stays on. Oh, what a hit by Martin into the boards, but they get the puck away. Grant Slakinski, near side, looking for a pass, shoots it into Cole Moore easily, gloves it like a first baseman, drops it to his right side. We'll get a new line of, we'll get a new line of forwards for the Falcons with a minute and a half left to play. Possibly the last shift, we'll see, although that would be a long shift for the Falcons, minute and 18 seconds. Grant Slakinski is kicked out. You know, referees in the NCAA must be more strict on false starts off the draw, because we saw a lot in the Simon Fraser and Robert Morris series. We've seen a couple in this game as well where the center has been kicked off of the circle. So the faceoff was in the Falcon zone. Western Michigan controls the puck now. BG just trying to exit this with a 1-goal deficit. Western trying to add. Cole Moore knocks this one away. Will be counted as a shot on goal. Western Michigan, Schultz trying to set it up. This one off the point, bounces over the glass behind the bar of the Falcons. This one in deep. Ben Wozni kicks it away. 48 seconds left to play in the first period. Western gets it cleared out of the zone. BG will go for a line change. They will not go for the puck. So Rosine makes a mistake with the puck. Again cleared out for the Falcons. This one's a rush from Brett Foe. Near side. The shot saved by Cameron Rowe. Again on the backhand. Oh, there was a chance. Over the top of the net. 30 seconds left to play for the Falcons. Blocked by Western Michigan. BG turned that defense into offense so quickly. Ben Duran now through the zone. Jaden Grant giving chase as well. Kicks it back over. Brett Foe camping in front. Waiting for a slap shot. It's pressed against the boards with 10 seconds left to play. Student section cheering, trying to see some action before the period is ended, but with 5 seconds left, it's kicked to Cole Moore, who will just stall the puck. Sternberg will take it behind his netminder, and we will head into the first intermission with a 2-1 game. 2-1, Falcons trailing the Broncos. We'll talk about it in a few minutes. WBGU 88.1 FM.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Remember the 60s? That's when the U.S. Surgeon General warned us that cigarette smoking causes lung cancer. Well, music's changed, and now there's another warning from the U.S. Surgeon General. Radon causes lung cancer. Radon is an invisible gas that seeps into your home, and it can cause lung cancer whether you smoke or not. The only way to know if radon is in your home is to have it tested. Call 1-800-SOS-RADON. That's 1-800-SOS-RADON. Because radon problems can be fixed. Brought to you by this station and the U.S. EPA.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Every year, millions of Americans use opioids to manage pain. And reliance on opioids has led to the worst drug crisis in American history. That's why the CDC recommends safer alternatives like physical therapy to manage pain. Physical therapists treat pain through movement, hands-on care, and patient education. No warning labels required. When it comes to your health, you have a choice. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com to find a physical therapist in your area.
Back here in the Cooleen Center studios, Tyler Kavlitz joined by Nick Windholtz. And Nick, pretty interesting first period for Bowling Green against Western Michigan. But before we get into that, another big Bowling Green athletic event happening and already finishing up here. Bowling Green volleyball sweeps Buffalo in 3 sets. Huge win for the Falcons. They won the first set 25-19, the second 25-18, and the third 25-16. Pretty much domination for Bowling Green. Mia Tyler, Lauren Hovey, Alexis Mattel all tied for the lead in kills for the Falcons with 7. Amanda Odden leading the team with 26 assists. So very big win for Bowling Green, Nick.
That's pretty big for them, especially after their 2-game skid there for a little bit against Eastern Michigan and Central, where they took them to 5 sets. And it's good to see them sweeping them in 3 sets early on here, because for BG, they kind of struggled early on in the game in the Central and Eastern Michigan games. And huge win, as you said, because Buffalo is currently ranked first in the MAC, so that is a big win for Bowling Green.
Yeah, and I know that team started off pretty slow to begin the season. That was a big talking point around campus here, but you can never count out a Daniela Tomic team. She has that team back in the place where they want to be, and they are a top contending team when they are playing right. They're going to be one to look out for. And if we look around the CCHA for today, this is the only game going on. There is nothing else going on around the CCHA. You look at yesterday, there wasn't any action. Tomorrow, though, we have a pretty packed slate of action. Fair State going to take on St. Lawrence. The University of Alaska Anchorage taking on the Northern Michigan Wildcats. Stonehill College going to face Lake Superior State. Augustana against the University of Nebraska at Omaha. And then the game that every CCHA hockey fan's going to be keeping their eyes on, the University of North Dakota coming to visit Minnesota State. That is number 20 Minnesota State hosting number 5 North Dakota tomorrow, Friday at 7:07 Central Time. So what's that? Put it about, what are we, an hour ahead?
Yeah, something like that.
Took me a second there. So 6:07 here Eastern Time for that one. But that's a very big matchup for the CCHA.
That is a big matchup for them. It'll be interesting to see how that game turns out.
And then if we look back, what just happened, the first 20 minutes of action between Bowling Green, Western Michigan, really nothing crazy on the stat lines when you look at it. 2-1 Western Michigan. They got 2 early goals. We'll get into that in a second. Both teams even at 9 shots. Western Michigan is leading faceoffs 10-6. No power plays, no penalty minutes. Very clean first period.
Yeah, was a very clean first period. And other than that missed goal on the second one, like the faulty defense move on the second goal there, it has been a close game, even game by both teams. You take that goal away and it'd be 1-1, and it'd be a really good game, and it still is a really good game here.
Yeah, for Western Michigan, it was Zach Naring on both goals. Had one 6 minutes, 43 seconds into play, a little wrist shot in the upper net area on Cole Moore. That was a basically one-on-one opportunity there. Just took advantage. A very good shot by him. And then he came back 10 minutes, 39 seconds into the contest. It was saved by Cole Moore, but Bowling Green didn't have any defenders back there. And Zach Naring took full advantage of it, found the back of the net once again. But Bowling Green did get a huge goal, and we talked about it when it happened to each other off the air. Huge momentum stopper against Western Michigan. Very big for Bowling Green. It was a face-off, I believe. Imonen, I believe is how you pronounce it, won the face-off. Brody Waters taking full advantage. Took a second off the clock. That's it. Put it in the back of the net. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, Bowling Green definitely not even close to worst-case scenario. First period, he weathered that storm, the 2 early goals, and then you get one by Brody Waters to bring it to a 2-1 score.
That was very, as you mentioned, very fast play on their goal there. Just win the faceoff and just shoot it at them. That has seemed to be like their kind of momentum shift there and see if that they can take this into the second period here and keep the game leaning their side and make a comeback here.
And what is interesting is there hasn't been, for Bowling Green, a player that's taken full control.
Yeah.
We see it for Western Michigan. Your pick, I believe it was Brett Foe, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, your pick to score a goal, Brett Foe. He leads the Falcons in shots with 3. No other Falcon has more than 1 shot taken so far. Postonin has 1. Brody Waters has 1. He netted it. Jaden Grant has 1. Parker has 1. Fightin and Wozni both have 1. And there's a couple big names missing there. Quinn Emerson, Scardina. You look, O'Hara does not have a shot yet. Just Bowling Green still looking for that player to really take control of this one for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, like those guys you mentioned that haven't really seen any action yet. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back here in the second period, and if we can get them going, I think we could quickly change the tide of this game here and finally take down the Broncos.
Definitely, and you look at goaltenders. Cole Moore for Bowling Green did give up those 2 early goals. He has 7 saves, good for a 77.8% save percentage. Rowe on the other side for Western Michigan. He, of course, allowed the 1 goal. He has 8 saves and 88.9% save percentage for him. So Bowling Green, I will say one thing, Nick. We talked about this. Great turnout in Western Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
For a fall break, this environment is rocking.
We've been able to hear him in the background the whole time, especially like a little bit there when they fans were giving it to Bowling Green there for a little bit during that injury timeout. It seemed like they were getting real rowdy there.
Well, and of course, this is not the only broadcast going on this weekend for Falcon Media Sports Network. On Friday tomorrow, we will have another volleyball matchup. Chaz McNeil on the road with the team. He was in Buffalo today for that game. He will be traveling with the team to Akron. They will be facing off against the Zips at 6 p.m. That'll be on WBGU 88.1 FM here. It's Saturday. Football goes to Kent State, looking to rebound after that loss against Northern Illinois. Should be a win for the Falcons if they take care of business. That'll be 3:30 p.m. Over on our sister station, Falcon Radio, Carter Leonard, Artie Abrego on the call. And then Sunday, we do not have a broadcast, but we will have the Zig Zone, the only show in Bowling Green dedicated solely to BGSU athletics. I will be filling in for Holden Ruck and hosting this next edition. I should be joined. I believe it's going to be Sean Connolly, Henry Costco, Ben Korak, the voice of Falcon Hockey, who we'll talk to in a second, and Chaz McNeil. But that'll be fun on Sunday. Make sure to tune in. That'll be 4 to 6 p.m. here on WBGU 88.1 FM. But now we will take about a minute break. And when we come back, we'll be joined by the voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak. We'll talk to him about his thoughts on the first period as we move in to the second period. Western Michigan leading Bowling Green after the first period of action, 2-1. You are listening to BGSU Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Return to Radio Freedom with 88.1 FM WBGU. Northwest Ohio's community radio station offers local programming from the morning show to eclectic music shows from a variety of genres and local sports coverage. So keep it locked in right here on 88.1 FM or stream us live 24/7 on bgfalconmedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. 88.1 FM WBGU, Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Broadcasting from the Michael and Sarah Killeen Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, this is WBGU 88.1 FM, your source for local news, music, and sports. Return to Radio Freedom with Northwest Ohio's community radio station. Available locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online on bgfalconmedia.com and the TuneIn Radio app. WBGU Bowling Green, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Back here in the Killeen Center studios, and Tyler Kavlitz here along with Nick Winholtz, and we are now joined by the voice of Falcon Hockey, Ben Korak. So, first of all, Ben, great to have you on here for the intermission report, but how does it feel to be on the road with the hockey team? Great to have a broadcaster on the road for these.
Yeah, it feels great. And the worst part about not having one last year was not that I didn't get to go, it's that I didn't get to watch the games that were happening. So it's really nice for not only us, but all of Bowling Green and all BGSU hockey fans that they're able to listen to their favorite team play on the ice. And whether that's good or bad, it's something that everybody wants to hear. And this way you don't have to pay for the Micro Sports subscription. So it's beneficial to everybody.
Well, one thing we talked about in the intermission report was overall pretty clean first period of this one. No penalty minutes, no power plays for either of these teams. What did you see out there on the ice?
Yeah, I agree with you. It was very clean. The Falcons did a very good job early of getting a man down the ice, able to get a guy toward the blue line so that when they were able to clear the puck, they were clearing it to a brown jersey, and they were able to make some transition plays and a couple of good chances. And then after that first goal by Zach Naring, it just kind of they just stopped doing that. They were fighting for control of the puck in their own zone and in the neutral zone, less so trying to, or I should say, worrying about getting it down the ice. So I think coming out of the second period, we should see them trying to get back after that and getting. It's tough to describe without you being here, but to see the progression of the guys on the ice. You have a couple of guys on the ice coming to the near side boards to find the puck. One guy streaking down. It's kind of like a fast break. That's exactly what it is, a fast break, and you got a couple of odd man chances there. I believe 2 of those shots from Brett Foe came on chances like that. There was one from Jaden Grant. I remember he had a pretty good chance of filling. Brody Waters had a very good chance as well. So, I think that's going to be huge for the Falcons. It's something they did early in the first period when the game was still tied and even at 1-0. And then getting back into that, it's going to be huge for the Falcons being able to climb back into this game.
Pretty interesting goals, I would say, based on hearing them from you. Really, that Brody Waters one stands out immediately off of the face-off. How big was that for Bowling Green to get back into this one?
Yeah, I mean, I believe I said in the moment that the momentum had swung toward BG, and it did, and less so that Bowling Green got momentum from it, and more so that it was just a showstopper for Western Michigan. I mean, they were feeling good. It was about a minute after Zach Naring had scored his second goal, and it just stifled all the energy that you had coming out of that one. And especially off the draw, that's a play that should be made by the goaltender almost every time, or the defense is supposed to get up in the face. And he had a wide open shot and a nice wrister, and he took him upper deck, and he did a very good job at executing that play. And we're going to need more plays like that. So now Western Michigan knows that on the draws they are able to take shots and rip it right off the draw. So it's something more that they have to worry about, especially in the wheels.
And so now we're gearing closer towards the start of the second period. What adjustments do you want to see from this Bowling Green Falcon squad?
Yeah, I mentioned it before. One of the goals that they had that they gave up to Zach Naring was the defensive breakdown. They had more defenders than offenders in the zone, and they just weren't able to communicate well enough and get the guys on the body of Zach Naring, and he was able to beat Colmore on that one. So a defensive breakdown on that, definitely looking for them to stifle that problem. But also, just like I said before, getting those odd man rushes is going to be huge. And looking forward, 2 for the Broncos, 1 for the Falcons. We are ready for puck drop here in the second period. Fresh slate of ice. Fresh minds for the Falcons. Thank you again to Tyler Kavlitz and Nick Windholtz, who did that intermission report. They do a phenomenal job taking some of the weight off of me, and it's very fun to have other opinions on how the game is going and what Bowling Green is doing on the ice. Ben Wozni near side leaves it to Fighton. Fighting up to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer loses it in the zone. And it gets back to Wozni off of Western Michigan. Fighton pokes it up into the O-zone. Jaden Grant giving chase. Pushes Sholin behind the net. Gets the puck free to Lemire. Lemire loses it to O'Hara. O'Hara to Amonin. Amonin back to O'Hara. O'Hara had a chance, but the puck is stifled by Lemire. Lemire now again giving chase. Amonin presses him into the boards. Quite a large forward. This one into the doorstep. Brody Waters takes it, carries it away. O'Hara presses into the bench. Now the puck goes into the O-zone. A couple of Falcons changing a couple more, go for a line change. Amonin, where's the hit? wearing down the body. Zach Naring loses it to Kabanoff. Kabanoff is blocked again by Naring. Naring's had a very good day. That was a good defensive play by him just to get his skates in the way of the puck. He also, as we mentioned, has the 2 goals for Western Michigan. 2.5 expired in the second period. Falcons trailing by 1. Kabanoff on the near side to McKinley. McKinley across the nose of his goaltender to Pasanen. Pasanen hits a stick to avoid the icing, but it's cleared to Cameron Rowe in the net for Western Michigan. Now near side, Western takes it around, back in toward the center. Takes it back to the blue line. Shot. This one is way high. Kicks over the middle. And Sidlowski couldn't get a stick on it. We saw that last year against Western Michigan. They like to take high shots because the puck bounces off the glass and over the goalie's head. He loses control of it. And it's tough. We saw that last year from Christian Stover in the Western Michigan game, and it was actually the deciding goal, I believe, in a 4-3 game. An unfortunate play that Stover really has no control over. If he can't see the puck, he can't save it. Washi, near side, finishes an over the middle, pass between the legs, but it's kicked to Brett Foe. Brett Foe with a rush, pokes it into the zone, avoids the faceoff. Quinn Emerson, does he go for the body? No, he goes for the puck. Gets it back away. Niedermeyer into the zone, flips it over, saved by Cameron Rowe. He knocks it to his man, Zach Sharp. Sharp to Washi. Washi off the glass. Niedermeyer kicks it with his hand to Jaden Grant. Grant across to Fighton. Fighton off the glass to Grant. Grant with a good pass over the middle to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer, oh, right into the chest of Cameron Rowe. If he got a little bit of width accuracy on that one, he might have had a game-tying goal, but nevertheless, 16-50, and the score is still 2-1. Fighting to Pasanen. Pasanen keeping it away from his goaltender. Listen to Waters to O'Hara. O'Hara with clean stick work. Waters up the center. Back to O'Hara. Skips to the inside. Gains control. Nobody in the slot, so he turns it back around to the blue line. Slap shot from Pasanen is blocked. Liam Valente eats that one, skates immediately to the bench. Sure, that one could have felt better. O'Hara works his way around the stick that is laying shattered in the middle of the ice. Turns it back around to the inside. Waters trying to get it back to the blue line, but can't do it. He's pressed up. This puck is near side. Krusberg, Rosine gets it up to Lemire. Lemire to Newble. Newble is slapped away by the Falcons. Maxwell Martin, a good defensive play. Slaps it down into the O zone, but no Falcon can get the stick on it in time, and icing will be the call. 15:48 left to play in the second period. 2 for the Broncos, 1 for the Falcons. Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan, our first traveling hockey broadcast of the year. From the Falcon Media Sports Network, I am Ben Korak. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Scardina for the faceoff. The Falcons rarely in this one trailing in faceoffs 1, but they win this one to Eric Parker. Up to Martin, near side, to Kabanoff. Kabanoff leaves it back for Martin, but it's intercepted by Constantini. Over and across, pass up to Lemire. Lemire across, a good chance, saved by Cole Moore, kicked away. 1-on-1, Cole Moore wins this one. Maxwell Martin up the zone, forced to the ground. And an icing will be the call as Brian Kramer couldn't get there in time. Oh no, a tripping is called. Tripping was called on Alex Bump. So when Maxwell Martin hit the ground, the stick got a little bit too low. Got mixed up in the skates. And now Alex Bump finds himself in the sim box for the first penalty for Western Michigan and for the game. Power plays have not been a strong suit for the Falcons. They were 1 for 6 in their exhibition game against Simon Fraser. And they've truly struggled this year after having quite a power play unit last season. This one inside to O'Hara. O'Hara to Eric Parker. Parker near side to Ville Imonen. Imonen with the cross, but they couldn't fill it. Western takes it into the zone. This is Cam Newble He takes it up just to waste some time. The Falcons will chase now, so they had one good chance, but didn't fill it. Looking for a goal and a game tied. 2-1, Western. Now Waters in the zone, up to the blue line. Parker keeps it in. Up into Waters, who is being pressed against the boards. Kicks out. 4 forwards for the Falcons. Near side, Kabanoff. Kabanoff to Parker. Parker gets it to O'Hara, to Imonen. Imonen turns it over and out of the zone. Good icing. Western goes for a line change. So do the Falcons. So like many second period power plays, both teams have to skate a little bit farther to get to their own bench because their goaltender is on the opposite side of the bench. This one over the middle, cross to Ben Duran. Brett Foe with a beautiful pass over the middle. Ben Duran goes top shelf, and the Falcons tie it up 2-2. Huge energy from Ben Duran. We'll step aside as we figure out who got the assist on that one for a legal ID.
This is Lucas Kleinmeyer, and you are listening to 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
So no word yet. Ben Duran, we know, gets the goal. Yes, he does. Cole Moore gets an assist on that one, with Brett Foe being the second. McKinley fanned on it. Western giving chase. Fresh scoreboard for the Falcons and the Broncos that is tied 2-2. BG chasing their first win over Western Michigan in 2 years. This one goes off the back glass behind Cole Moore. Jaden Grant pushing and shoving with McKinley. Possenin gets the puck up into the neutral zone. Niedermeyer with the stick out, holding off the pass, goes near side. Scholand across, off the boards. In the D zone for the Falcons, they kick it across to Breck McKinley. McKinley off the half wall and to O'Hara. O'Hara over the middle with good stick work, but 2 sticks is more powerful than a good one. Viliamonen to O'Hara. O'Hara to Waters. Waters with the kick save from Cameron Rowe. Waters again giving chase behind. There's a good chance from the Falcons. They've played a lot better in this one with some rushes, but they've been able to set up their offense very well, as we saw from that last one. Brett Foe takes it into the zone. Crossover from behind the net to Ben Duran. And Duran fills it with Cameron Rowe, none the wiser. 2 in a row for Western, 2 in a row for the Falcons. Oh, Sternberg wears a hit on the near side. Drosner comes up with the puck. Now leaves it back across, pushing and shoving. Oh, kicked away! Cole Moore with a good foot, just inches away from a goal from Western Michigan. Gets it out of the zone. Cole Moore saved a goal for the Falcons. That one was almost guaranteed. Did a phenomenal job sealing off that post. And Ben Duran wears a hit on the near side. Whistle is blown. See what the call is. It's like no matter what the call is, the faceoff is leaving the zone. So oh, is Bowling Green getting a penalty? I can't tell. A Falcon is getting a penalty. Matvey Kabanoff heads to the box. Don't know whether it was a too many men on the ice penalty or he just had one. The call from the referee was unintelligible. So we will await an answer on this one, and while we do, we will take a step back for the media timeout. 2-2, Falcons and Broncos, WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Men's Tennis heads to the Cleveland State Invitational on Monday, October 21st through Tuesday, October 22nd. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for Falcon Media Sports Network's recap of the event.
Be a part of the return to Radio Freedom on WBGU FM. Our non-commercial programming efforts rely on the support of our local community. WBGU offers sponsorship opportunities in the form of underwriting. Underwriting is an effective method of gaining exposure for your business in Northwest Ohio and helps us continue producing local content. For more information regarding underwriting sponsorship at WBGU, visit bgfalconmedia.com.
So Matvey Kamenov, the victim of a penalty. He spends the next 2 minutes in the box while Western tries to get the lopsiding goal. Ben Wozni with a block there as Bowling Green wins the faceoff but loses it to Western Michigan, trying to ice the puck, and a shot from Alex Bump fills the net. And the too many men on ice penalty bites the Falcons. It's the second time in my recollection this year that the Falcons have had too many men on the ice. This one, Sam Cholin and Liam Valente look like they were the assists on that goal from Alex Bump. Quite a quick one. Although if the Falcons were guaranteed to give up a goal on that power play, he would have rathered it happen sooner rather than later. So they have 12 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. They win this faceoff. Sternberg into the zone. They trail by 1 now. Zach Naring, the first 2 goals. Alex Bump, the third, could be the decider depending on how the rest of this game goes. Bump again at the blue line. Shot saved by Cole Moore. Puck on the far side. Falcons and Broncos battling it out. This one is a shot. Knocked away from Niedermeyer. Sternberg's stick is pulled away from Owen Michaels. No penalty is called. Looked like it could have been a holding, but must not have been egregious enough. So Sternberg collects his stick, heads to the bench. Krusberg-Rosine into the zone. Passanen fighting, kicking the puck. Power play goal for Western Michigan is the decider as of right now. It is 3-2. This one to Brody Waters. Waters sends it wide of the net. Dalton Norris kicks. Alex Bump gives chase into the Falcon zone. Tries to center it. Deeks Passanen. Passanen flipping the puck away. Bump looking for a pass, looking for the assist. This shot goes wide left and back around. Bump back at the top. Toe drag, shot goes left. Dresner real near side to Zach Sharp. Zach Sharp fans on his pass. Norris pops it up into the neutral zone. Villiers Monin giving chase slowly. Doesn't go for the body, goes for the puck. Can he force the turnover? No, he can't. But now they do. Wozni and Parker in their own zone. Wozni passes it up to Emerson. Emerson to Ben Durand. High-paced first period. Looks like it's taken a huge toll on the Falcons and the Broncos as the pace of play has slowed down considerably. Now an odd man rush. A shot! Oh, was that a score? Yes, it looks like it was. Liam Valente lights the lamp. It looked like it went over the net, but it was perfectly placed between the crossbar and the post. And as soon as they tie it up, the Falcons drop it back down to 2. Liam Valente, the 4th goal of the day, still awaiting the assists on a rush from the near side. He was looking for the pass, so another defensive breakdown for the Falcons as they do not pick up Valente, but pick up the 2 skaters over the middle between the wheels. And again results in a goal for the Broncos. Falcons win the faceoff, but turn it over promptly to the Broncos. Norris leaves it across over the middle. Good defense from Maxwell Martin to kick that puck away. Kamenov near sides gets pushed into the sin box, as he's already been once in this game. The power play goal, the 3rd for Western Michigan. This one's centered. Martin takes it back into his own blue line. This one to Scardina. Scardina trying to pry it off of the half wall. Can't do it. This one to bump near side. He's got some space. Trying to weasel it across into Cole Moore. Cole Moore loses track of the puck, but they cover it up with a couple of sticks. And an odd deflection off of the skate of Breck McKinley. Nine minutes, 23 seconds left to play in the second period. Broncos lead 4-2 after 2 goals straight by Liam Valente as the most recent and Alex Bump as the third. Western Michigan also leads in shots total with 17-13 over the Falcons. And faceoffs won 13-10. So they have so far outplayed the Falcons, although some battling from BG and Willie's team has put them back into this one. Breck McKinley throws him down to the ice. They're calling for a penalty. This one goes off of Jaden Grant. Grant hits the ice on the stinger, hit him in the calf, but prevented the goal. That's a push from Tommy Possanen that pokes the puck free. More strong efforts from the Falcons on the near side boards. McKinley gets the puck to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer pokes it through to Messick. Messick goes off the glass, gloves it into the zone. Now a good chance from Western Michigan again. They're forced away. Colmore gloves it and opts for a face-off to his right on the far side wheel in the Lawson Ice Arena. Under 9 minutes left to play in the second period. 8:40 to be exact. The production line for the Falcons: Ville Imonen, Ryan O'Hara, and Brody Waters. We saw a lot of Scardina, Martin, and Kabanoff early. We've seen a lot of Imonen, O'Hara, and Waters lately. A little bit more experienced. Wozni up the ice. Brody Waters with a race to it, but Rob Drasner will beat him there. Western Michigan through the neutral zone. No harsh forecheck from the Falcons now, but they poke the puck away. Brody Waters is hit open ice. Now so is Valente. Valente loses it to the Falcons, the orange and brown. Up the middle to Ben Wozni. Wozni to Drasner. Drasner leaves it to Imonen. Imonen goes for the body anyway. Where's the hit on the boards? Good stick work by O'Hara. Gets it back in the zone. Quinn Emerson chases. Shoulder check to Norris. Norris loses it again. Valente still fighting behind his goalie, Cameron Rowe, who we haven't said his name in a minute. He's got 11 saves and 2 goals allowed. Mid-ice hit from Gustav Stjernberg. A penalty will be called. Must be an interference penalty on Gustav Stjernberg, possibly an illegal hit. But it's gone from cross-checking open ice. It's gone from bad to worse as the Falcons give up 2 goals in a row and now send their best defender to the box. Among the jeers from Western Michigan student section, quite sizable for fall break. So defense needed from the Falcons. We see that from this line. Possanen, Wozni, Ben Duran, and what looks to be Seth Fighton. Is the other best defensive forward for the Falcons. Yes, it is. So some size out there as well. Weren't able to kill off the last one. Alex Bump, only a few seconds in, able to fill the net for the third goal for Western Michigan. This one across, slap shot saved from Cole Moore. Now over the middle, Valente with another shot, again saved by Cole Moore. Good plays, 2 in a row. BG trying to get it out of the zone. Ben Wozni. Cleared away. Western at the point. Sholin, shot to Cole Moore. Wozni kicks it. This one away. Wozni into the boards. Valente kicks it through to Constantini. Constantini near side. Back for Valente. Valente, Sholin leaves it high. Wozni into bump on the near side boards. Ben Duran can't get it out of the zone. The Falcons have yet to clear the blue line. Almost a minute left to play. Ben Duran watching Sholin dribble the puck at the blue line. Now back to Scholand at the point to Valene. Valene, kick save from Cole Moore. Moore saves it again. That's 4 saves for Moore on this power play alone. 50 seconds left for the Falcons to kill. They have yet to get the puck past the blue line. Ben Duran loses his sticking, but the pass goes wide. Valentine, near side to Scholand. Back to Valene. The shoot and the score. Liam Valenti with the second power play goal of the game for the Broncos. That's his second. One of the assists should be attached to Sam Scholand. Possibly the other one to Alex Bump. We'll see in a minute. But 5 for Western Michigan, 2 for Bowling Green is the score. Two penalties for the Falcons, 2 served out, 2 goals from Western Michigan. 1,000 conversion percentage on the short-handed attempts from the Falcons. Niedermeyer can't hold on, chased by Western Michigan. No icing. Eric Parker through the zone. Now across to Dalton Norris. Dalton Norris' shot is wrangled by Cameron Rowe, who knocks it back away. This one's a pass across to Scardina. Scardina, something wrong with his skate as he skates off on one leg. And now an odd man rush. And Sternberg does his thing, gets the puck away. Ryan O'Hara still through the zone. Still some energy for the Falcons, but they trail by 3. Cross over the middle to Breck McKinley. McKinley, the shot is too low. Rowe covers up the goal with his pads. This one is to Waters. Waters to O'Hara. Now Waters the inside, saved by Rowe. Another good chance with the stick. Sternberg flings it toward the net, hoping for a rebound, but no chance. Up the net, not through the neutral zone. O'Hara still fighting, near side, looking for a pass. He's being pummeled on the boards. No brown jerseys were going to help him. Now Waters does, but it's too late. The Broncos come up and look to stampede into the Falcon zone once again. 5-2. 4 minutes, 43 seconds left to play. Alex Bump again with the shot, saved from Cole Moore. Pressed behind the net. Ryan O'Hara gives a bump. Can't get the puck free. Now Alex Bump through the zone. O'Hara tries to clear it, but can't get it out of the blue zone. Now Lemire with the shot. A good save from Cole Moore on the outstretched leg. Visenen near side. Lemire is off the stick of Ben Duran and into the netting. And the faceoff will stay in the neutral zone, but toward the Falcons' side. We'll take a step back in the quick timeout to shovel the ice. 4 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in the second period. 5 for the Broncos, 2 for the Falcons. WBGU 88.1 FM.
WBGU 88.1 FM is Northwest Ohio's community radio station. As a non-commercial radio station, our programming efforts are supported by underwriting sponsorships from local businesses. Underwriting is an effective method of gaining exposure for your business in Northwest Ohio and helps us continue producing local content. For more information regarding underwriting sponsorship at WBGU, visit bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcons talking over adjustments that they need to make. We were optimistic through the first couple minutes of this period because the Falcons scored an early goal that tied the game at 2-2, and then 2 power plays and a defensive breakdown later, the score is 5 for Western Michigan, 2 for Bowling Green, and the loss in Ice Arena on this Thursday night. Cole Moore heads back to the goal. His stat line not as impressive as we've come to expect from Cole Moore. He does have 20 saves with 4 minutes left in the second period, but he has 5 goals allowed. And in fairness to Cole Moore, 2 of those come on strong defensive breakdowns and 2 on power plays in which the man advantage got the best of the Falcons. So Tyler Washi for the faceoff. 16 faceoff wins for Western, 11 for the Falcons. He's kicked out for Owen Michaels. So now Jaden Grant has the advantage in this draw. And he does win it. Jaden Grant up to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer's being held on to, wants the penalty. The whistle blows. And I think that will be a icing on the Falcons because Niedermeyer was not able to get a stick on it. The horses are out of the stable. The Broncos get 3 in a row, advance to a 3-goal lead over the Falcons. 25 shots on goal for Western, 18 for the Falcons on a team under Willie that's supposed to be priding themselves in total shots. Still a sizable amount of shots, but just more from Western Michigan, especially on the power plays, which have come at extremely inopportune times. Sternberg, the best defensive player, and too many men on the ice, just almost an unforgivable penalty for team play. That's an offsides penalty on Western, so the faceoff will go out of the zone. 3:45 left to play in the second period. 2 goals from Zach Naring, the first 2 of the game. Alex Bump with the intermediate, splitting the 2 goals from Naring and the 2 most recent goals from Liam Valente. Falcons' only goals come from Brody Waters on the first, Ben Duran on the second. Ben Duran the center, Brody Waters the right wing. First in the third line getting goals for the Falcons. A couple of assists spread out as well. Sam Sholin leads both teams in assists with 2. So now the faceoff will be to the right of Cole Moore. Ethan Scardina and Grant Slakinski. Slakinski wins this one, as they've done mostly in this game. Falcons again trying to get it out of the zone. It's almost like even strength plays for the Falcons have resulted in power play-like visuals, as this one's called by Cole Moore. He opts for another faceoff, but Western is just toying with the Falcons, who had quite a strong first 10 minutes. McKinley, Possanen, Waters, Imonen, and O'Hara, assuming that Imonen, O'Hara, and Waters will be in the game a lot going forward because they are the best producing line. And the Falcons need 3 goals to tie it up. And they have only a period and 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to do it. Another icing on the Falcons, who are trying to get that deep strike. I said at the beginning of the period and in the intermission report, which is being done today by Tyler Kavelitz and Nick Windholtz, that getting those odd man chances for the Falcons is going to be huge. When they were really clicking in the first period, that's what they were doing, is they were getting a lot of fast breaks. Good stick work there from the Falcons. They get it out into the neutral zone. The pass up is accepted by Western Michigan. But Bowling Green, knowing what we know, and are also trying to find those deep chances as well, those one-on-ones. They're going to attempt to win as many as possible, as their scoring chances have been far less, 26-18 on shots on goal. O'Hara flips it into the zone, off the glass. First time in a while a Falcon player has entered the O zone. This one's Quinn Emerson, who loses the blade of his skate. Foe giving press. A little bit of open space. This one's across to Lemire. Lemire, good kick save from Cole Moore. Literally off the blade of the skate, getting that one away. Eric Parker tries to keep it out of the zone. Ben Duran takes it back in. A whistle blows. Maybe an offside on Western, so the faceoff will leave the zone, and Bowling Green will get the second line change. Five to 2. Broncos over Falcons. A goal in the next 2.5 minutes or so would be big for the Falcons, trying to climb their way back into this one, narrow their deficit to 2. Wozni to Parker. Parker into the zone. Grant giving chase. It'll go all the way to the goal line. Cameron Rowe puts his glove up in the air, signaling it should be an icing, and it is. Solid day for Rowe. 16 saves, 2 goals allowed. Cole Moore has allowed 5 on his side, but 22 saves. So the save percentage is not as different as you might imagine, but a power play goal given up by Cameron Rowe. 2 power play goals given up by Cole Moore. Brett Foe pressing. This one's a shot. Tipped in by Tim Washi. Six to 2, Western Michigan over Bowling Green. Shot from what looked to be Owen Michaels, possibly caught the stick of Tim Washi in front of the net. It did touch a stick and deflect up. It just matters whose stick it was. It might have been a Bowling Green stick. Well, we are nearing unreachable territory for the Falcons. They really need to come out of this period with the score that we have now, regroup. Over to Ben Duran. Ben Duran crosses it into the middle, but good defense by Western Michigan. No goal. Oh, the goal is to Owen Michaels. So it hit a Bowling Green stick in front of the net instead of a Western Michigan one. Michaels chases this one. Brett Foe over the middle. This one is back pass to Dalton Norris. Dalton Norris near side, fighting for it like a forward. Good stick work from him. Good offensive capability from Dalton Norris. We have not seen him find the point column in this game. He only has 1 shot. He is +1 as a rating. One of the only players on the ice to have a positive rating. He had the highest rating of any Falcon last year. Rating being the goals you are on the ice for added and the goals you allowed you are on the ice for subtracted. So 1 means that he has been on the ice for more goals scored for the Falcons than goals scored against the Falcons, which is surprising given that the deficit for the Falcons is 4. 6 to 2, 53 seconds left in the second period. The faceoff will go nowhere because a timeout is called for Willie and the Falcons, but we'll stick our way through this one. I'll read you some stats while we wait. Liam Valente, 2 goals and 1 assist. Zach Naring, the first 2 goals of the game. He also has 1 assist. Owen Michaels and Alex Bump with goals intermediately, and that's how Western Michigan got to 6 goals on the day. They also have 28 total shots, 10 more than the Falcons. They also lead in faceoffs won by 4, 20-16. The Falcons' 2 goals coming from Brody Waters in the first period and Ben Duran early in the second. Assists from Brett Foe, Ben Wozni, Ville Emonen, but they have not been able to find the score sheet in the rest of the second period since the Ben Duran goal. So 53 seconds left. It's looking very positive that we will head into the locker room with a 4-goal deficit for the Falcons. But we did see a goal off the draw earlier in the game from Brody Waters. Only a second expelled on the clock between the time the puck was touched and the time it touched the back of the net. So here's Scardina for the faceoff. Loses this one to Western Michigan. Tipped up into the air, didn't hit the net. Maxwell Martin gloves it, puts it back on the ice, kicks it to the blue line. He loses his footing over the middle to Martin. Martin looks for the cross but can't get it into the slot. Possanen fans on his pass. Western Michigan now pushes themselves into the zone. Breck McKinley holds onto the puck and gets it out. Under 30 seconds left to play in the second period. BG just trying to exit this one without another goal given up. Tyler Washi into the zone. Owen Michaels. They were the tandem that scored the last goal. Maxwell Martin to Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara loses it way across to Robbie Drosner. The countdown starts by the student section, about 5 seconds off. And there we go. The whistle sound, or the horn sounds. Pushing and shoving at the end of that play because some frustrations happening from the Falcons, and rightfully so. 6 for Western Michigan, 2 for Bowling Green. We head to the locker rooms with a deficit of 4 for the Falcons on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Falcon Volleyball heads to the Rubber City for a matchup against the Akron Zips on Friday, October 18th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil on the call at 5:45 for pregame and 6 p.m. for first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.
BGSU football looks to get back in the win column as they battle Kent State on Saturday, October 19th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Carter Leonard and Artie Abrego on the call from the Doit, starting at 3:15 for pregame and 3:30 p.m. for kickoff on Falcon Radio.
Back here in the WBGU 88.1 FM studios here in the Cooling Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University. Tyler Kamlitz alongside Nick Windholz for your second period intermission report. And Nick, when we had that first period intermission report, we were talking about, felt like Bowling Green had all of the momentum on their side against Western Michigan, down 2-1. But they were coming off the Brody Waters goal, not too far past when we were talking. Completely different story. Western Michigan flips that script in the second period. They now lead the Falcons by 4, 6-2.
Yeah, it almost looked like as if BG came out of the intermission there a little struggling, a little slow, and weren't really fully ready to get back at it. I will say that it does look like the BG defense, though they've had a lot of shots there that they were able to save there, but they're also struggling just on some of the small things. You look back at those two goals there, you take 2 of them off because of defensive mistakes, and it'd be a lot closer game, but still hard to come back here, and it's looking a little doubtful here for the BG Falcons.
Yeah, well, really, those first two, that third and the fourth for Western Michigan. The third one, you have the too many players on the ice lead to the power play for the Broncos, and then, like you said, just the defensive mistake on the fourth one. Western Michigan, though, give them credit. They are capitalizing on every opportunity. They dominated that second period, led in shots 19-9. They now lead 28-18 here in the full game. Closer in face-offs. We didn't talk about that much in the first period. Bowling Green trailed in face-offs first 20 minutes, 10-6. Western Michigan only won that battle in the second period, 11-10. So BG tightened up there. Western still leads 21-16 overall, but power plays is really where it's at right now. 2 for 2 Western Michigan is. Bowling Green capitalized on their one opportunity. But Yeah, Western Michigan came out of the gates hot. Alex Bump had the first goal in the second period for Western Michigan. That came about just under 8 minutes into the second period. That gave them a 3-2 lead. And then Liam Valente scored the next two for Western Michigan, 9:55 into the second period and just under 14 minutes into the period. And Owen Michaels added on another one with just a few minutes left to play, just actually under 2 minutes, or just over 2 minutes left to play in the second period. You talked about the defense. Well, what exactly were you hearing from Ben that you really think led to Western Michigan being able to open this one wide open?
Well, if you look at it there on the two power plays there, Bowling Green, it just seems like they need to be able to, maybe work on a little bit of like doing power play defense, but also on the Valenti goal there, they brought on an extra defender, extra attacker there, basically creating a power play just with more men. So it really looks like BG needs to work on being outmanned and having better chances on defense. But Ben also talked about in the transitions from defense to offense, they need to work on getting a man up the ice and up towards the blue line so that they can shoot the puck up there for him to get the one-on-one there and really help BG. They did really well on that in the first period of getting the guy up there after the transition, but in the second period here, BG struggled to get it across the middle of the ice there. So I think that's one thing they really do need to work on is defensive transitions.
And if you're listening to the first intermission report Nick and I had, we talked about looking for those Falcons who are going to step up. Some of the big names for them so far this season have not really done much so far today. Brett Foe, still waiting for a goal for him. He does have an assist, but he's taken 3 shots. Brody Waters is your leader with 4. He's found the back of the net once. Ben Duran has taken 1 shot. He made it. Other than that, you got Sternberg has a shot. Dalton Norris only 1 shot. Ethan Scardina only 1 shot. Ryan O'Hara does not have a shot in this game so far. Just some of those big names. O'Hara really sticks out. Quinn Emerson doesn't have a shot. Bowling Green, just some of those reliable names we're used to have not been able to get it going against the Broncos so far, Nick.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising there with Brian O'Hara because last year he did really well with scoring goals and creating offensive opportunities. But just for tonight, it seems like they're struggling a little bit and a couple of their key players just aren't totally there. But going into the third period, I think BG needs to look at having the better defense, but then also like just getting those offensive opportunities and getting those key players back into it. And if the way that they played off of that face-off with the quick action, I think that if BG can get a couple of those together and some quick face-off wins, I think that they could easily get back in this.
This is going to be a big game for Bowling Green, too, when we look back at it. We knew this was going to be a tough matchup against Western Michigan, but this is a game that you almost want this team to experience early in the season rather than late. This is the first time their defense has really been, exposed wide open. Against Mercyhurst, they had the 2-1 win to open the season. They let up 4, but still won 5-4 in their second game of the season. Other than that, the exhibitions you cruise through. You beat Robert Morris 7-2. You beat Simon Fraser 4-1. Coming off of that, transitioning back into regular season play, you're starting to see some of the areas that you need to improve in. I think we can both agree with this. Coming off that momentum in the first period, they just played sloppy, like you said, to open that second period. And credit to Western Michigan, they capitalized fully on it. But, Western Michigan scored 4 in the second period. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Bowling Green could have a miracle third period, tie this one up. Other than the defensive adjustments, what do you need to see out of this team?
I just think that they really just getting the key players back in and also give your goalie a little help on the defense as we talked about. But I do think that, like you mentioned, this is a good game for them going up against Western Michigan, really good team. I think this also helps them prepare. And next week with Ohio State coming up where they play them back-to-back, this is a good test for them as Ohio State is a very good hockey team. And, it's always a big game for Bowling Green every year. But I think if, BG needs to take what they are seeing on the defense and offensive sides of the puck here, they need to really work on this in practice coming up this week and really be able to bounce back for Ohio State and prepare for them. But for this game, BG really just needs to lock in on their defense and being able to push the puck up. And I think if we can get the puck across the middle ice, I think it'd be a lot better for BG.
We'll take a break here in just a second, but before that, want to remind all of our listeners, our sister station, Falcon Radio, all month long, it is Rocktober over at Falcon Radio. My kind of music, Nick.
Yeah.
Love some rock, but if you have time, go ahead, tune into that. Always great music over there on Falcon Radio, but we will take a short break. When we come back, the voice of Falcon hockey, Ben Korak, will join us, and we'll go over what he saw in person over there at Western Michigan. The Broncos currently lead the Falcons 6-2. You're listening to the Intermission Report here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat here. Make sure to tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Underwriting sponsorships on Northwest Ohio's community radio station are now available. Get your business's information out to the local community and show your support for 88.1 FM WBGU. For more information regarding underwriting sponsorships at WBGU, visit bgfalconmedia.com. Thanks for your continued support of everything we do here at WBGU 88.1 FM, Northwest Ohio's community radio station.
Back here for the Intermission Report, Tyler Kavlitz joined by Nick Windholtz, and we now welcome in Ben Korak, the voice of Falcon hockey. Ben, Nick and I were talking about all the momentum that Bowling Green had going into that second period. What happened to give Western Michigan a 6-2 lead?
Yeah, we mentioned it in the first period, and it just got worse, and it was the defensive breakdowns. I mean, the standout statistic in that one was 2 power plays and 2 penalties and 2 power play goals for Western Michigan. It was just the defense just wasn't able to get their stride, especially on. You don't expect to save every power play, but you expect to save some of them. They weren't able to save either, and on the other 2, they were defensive breakdowns as well. Getting the defenseman in place and catching a body, they just didn't do a great job of it in the second period. Definitely looking for them to do a better job in the third.
Defensive breakdown seems to be a little theme here. As we keep going on in this game. You mentioned the too many men on ice penalty. You said that was the second time you've seen it. Are these just growing pains under Willie?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, the forward core for the Falcons is quite strong. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The defensive core for the Falcons isn't quite as strong as the forwards, but there's still a lot of talent there. And the defense, the too many men on the ice, that's just going to happen, especially with young players. I don't know who exactly was on the ice early. It could have been a freshman that just misread the play that was happening. It could have been, I mean, there is some grace allowed by the referees when transitions are happening. A lot of the times you will have 7 guys on the ice just briefly for a split second. Maybe the referee decided to call it in that instance. I don't know. Didn't see the play completely, but a penalty is a penalty, and that's just something you have to limit as much as possible. If you escape this game with 2 penalties, that'll be a good game on the penalty side. 2 is acceptable. You just have to come into this third period being as clean as humanly possible.
And one more for you before we go to break, gearing up for the start of the final period. On the flip side for Bowling Green Athletics, volleyball, huge 3-set sweep over Buffalo. I think you got a chance to look at some of that. Just thoughts on that as you are one of our beats for volleyball.
Yeah, I mean, Daniela Tomic is an absolutely fantastic coach. They lost 2 in a row against Eastern and Central. If you turned into Falcon Radio, you would have heard, I'm sure, Chaz McNeil talk about that in Buffalo. But they lost 2 in a row. I don't think there was any way going into this 2-game set against Buffalo and Akron that they were going to lose both, much less maybe even lose another one. Buffalo is the number 1 team. I believe they were 6-1. Coming into today or something thereabouts. They only had 1 loss. And she has such a great hold on that team. I'm sure they came out popping, especially offensively. I think they had multiple players and 7+ kills, so a 3-set sweep against one of the better teams in the MAC. We saw that against Western Michigan and Toledo as well. They're just an impressive team to watch.
Always great having you on the intermission segments, Ben. We will take a little quick break and then send it back to you for the final period of action. Western Michigan leading Bowling Green 6-2. You're listening to BGSU Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For over 70 years, WBGU 88.1 FM has provided local news, sports, and entertainment to Northwest Ohio. As a non-commercial radio station, WBGU relies on the generous contributions of local businesses in the form of underwriting. For more information regarding underwriting sponsorship at WBGU, visit bgfalconmedia.com. Thanks for your continued support of everything we do here at WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcons and the Broncos back on the ice here in the Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I am Ben Korak from the Falcon Media Sports Network. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter. Western Michigan wins the first faceoff of the period once again. Fresh ice, fresh 20 minutes on the scoreboard for the Falcons. This is going to be a huge period to tell that the fight the Falcons have as a team. Winning this game or even tying it is a tall order given they are down 4, but being able to try and climb back into this one and not letting up on the gas will be a huge testament to how Willie coaches his team and the ability of the Bowling Green to maintain as much momentum as possible. Sternberg down the near side, passes it over the middle, sliding, saves it is Western Michigan. Imonen on the near side loses it to Sam Scholand. Scholand loses it to Waters. Waters with a cursory rebound shot, and it's gloved by Cameron Rowe, who shuts that play down. Production line on for the Falcons. We said that a lot. Imonen, Waters, and O'Hara should be the highest scorers on the Falcons by the end of the season. They need as many goals as possible, so they should get as much playing time as possible. A lot of shifts from them. Sternberg with a good shot for a rebound, but O'Hara wasn't in position to put it back. Good hit from Waters to get the puck free. It's up to Valente. Valente into Sternberg. Sternberg puts a big hit on Valente over the boards. This one's crossed over the middle. The shot wide left. Good chance from Neerling, who had the first 2 goals of this game. The pass is deflected by Neerling into the Bowling Green bench. And they throw it back on the ice with a disgusted face, and that is the nature of the scoreboard right now as well. 6 for the Broncos, 2 for the Falcons. Tim Washy for the faceoff. 12 wins on 14 attempts. He's only lost 2 in this game. He's been absolutely fantastic in the wheel. Where's a hit on this as Wozni goes for the body and not the puck. Some more chippiness happening now as Martin gets it across to Scardina. Scardina using Kabanoff as a pick. Shot over and behind. Oh, that should have been an interference penalty. Maxwell Martin was just hit as he was going for the puck, but he didn't have the puck on his stick. That would have been a huge call for the Bowling Green penalty to get back into this one. Martin wears a hit on the near side, gets the puck free, but skates over to the bench looking worse for wear. Brett Foe into Jaden Grant. Now Jaden Grant heads off. Brett Foe now giving chase. Hendricks leaves it in to Ben Duran. Duran into Foe. Foe loses it. Western controls it in the neutral zone. They're playing 2 defenders back at all times now. Understandably so, because the score is 4 up for Western. Emerson leaves it in. Duran can't hold on. Lemire now back to Duran. Duran with a good move and a save from Cameron Rowe. Did he kick it away? More good chances from the Falcons. Rowe lost his stick. Now he picks it up. Emerson is tripped in front. The puck clears away to Western Michigan, and they successfully stifle a strong attack by Ben Duran and the rest of the Falcons. Now a shot here from Krusenberg, Rosine. Now back. This shot is saved from Cole Moore. He gets the pads on the ice and rejects the puck very well, as he has done 22 other times in this game. 6 goals allowed, 800 save percentage for him. 2 power play goals allowed, and a lot of defensive breakdowns in front of him. So not all of those goals are completely his fault. But at the end of the day, the puck found the back of the net. Brian Kramer wings it across in his own zone. Pass up, intercepted by Stjernberg. He's been camping there all day. Finally got a couple of steals to come away with it. This one in the middle. Bowling Green back up at the point. Ring around the Rosie, back to Jaden Grant. Grant around the horseshoe, and to Dalton Norris. Norris can't keep it in the zone, and they'll have to reset. Stjernberg up, Niedermeyer in. And offsides is the call, as Seth Fighton got a little bit too eager for that offensive drive. Still 6-2, 16 minutes left to play. In the third period, I should say. 30 shots on goal for Western, 21 for the Falcons. It was a 13 shot on goal deficit at one point. Now it's back down to 9. The Falcons looking to make this score look a lot better when the game is over than the 4-goal deficit is right now. Through the legs of Wozni. Pasanen to Maxwell Martin. Martin into Scardina. Scardina up and through the zone. They got a 3-man rush, and Zach Sharp with good stick work pokes it away. Pasanen back across is intercepted. Martin puts a big hit. They're really going at Martin, and Martin's delivering it right back. He's making this a physical game, even though he has not done that in the exhibition and games against Mercyhurst for the Falcons. Skating in is Scholand. Scholand with the pass is deflected off the stick. Ben Wozni hits Iro Hakkarainen in the face. A cursing chant happening from Western Michigan as no penalty is called. Maybe should have been, but the hit at the end face off near side wheel. Falcons driving left to right. Western Michigan, who has the advantage in ice position right now, driving right to left. So still even strength after a suspect hit from the Goose. Face off one from the Falcons. Off the glass, all the way across. That is an interference penalty. Glove is in the air, touched by Scholand. And a penalty goes the way of the Falcons. And they'll have a man advantage. Looked like Imonen was the one tripped on the way up. And Väisänen makes his way over to the sin box. So penalties total for each team is even. One attributed to Gustav Stjernberg and the too many men on the ice that Kabanoff served. And then Alex Bump and Una Väisänen now in the box for Western Michigan. BG is 1 for 1 on power plays, looking to convert their second attempt. This one's a pass across, iced from Western Michigan. They'll kill about 15 seconds on that great play. Eric Parker to Kabanoff. Kabanoff on the power play unit through the zone. He is the extra forward as they're playing only one defenseman. Western Michigan presses up against the boards, flicks the puck away once more, and the Falcons will go for another line change. Ben Wozni on with Dalton Norris. So 2 defensemen on this power play drive. Good pass over the middle, and Western comes up with it again and ices it. $1:15 left in this power play, 14:20 left in the period, and the Falcons have yet to mount a strong offensive drill. Dalton Norris is fed over the inside, and again, the Broncos clear the puck. 6-2 Broncos over the Falcons. BG looking to shorten their deficit. Quinn Emerson giving chase, but it's an icing call, and the faceoff will go into the zone. And no line change for a shift that has not worked out so far in the power play for the Falcons. They really want some fresh legs on the ice, but I believe a timeout will be called by Willie, who wants to calm his team down a little bit, and we'll take it with him. 14:05 left to play in the third period, 52 seconds left in the penalty. 6 for the Broncos, 2 for the Falcons. WBGU 88.1 FM.
Men's soccer battles 15th ranked Missouri State in a high-stakes road matchup on Sunday, October 20th. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap of the game available on bgfalconmedia.com.
BG Falcon Media is an organization encompassing student media organizations at Bowling Green State University. BG24 is the video component of Falcon Media that creates a weekly live newscast every Tuesday. All videos and live streams can be found on the BG Falcon Media YouTube and website, or BG24's Twitter. BG Falcon Media, empowering students with creative freedom by exploring technologies and focusing on audience engagement and service to our communities.
Hi, this is Tom Hamilton, voice of the Cleveland Indians. You're listening to all the high-flying action of Falcon Sports on 88.1 WBGU.
Parker after the one face-off from the Falcons, over across, still a power play for the Falcons. Dalton Norris with a pass over the middle, tries to center it back, and Constantini gets it wide. Burns more time off this power play. Cole Moore goes for a risky long pass and lands it to Ryan O'Hara. 30 seconds left in the power play for the Falcons. O'Hara to Norris. Norris on the near side, wheeling it back to Imonen. Imonen to Waters. Waters to O'Hara. O'Hara working it in from the point, back to Waters. Pass over the middle, to Imonen, and they couldn't land it. Now it's back to the point. Slap shot from Dalton Norris. He had between the legs open, and it was closed at the last second by Cameron Rowe. So 10 seconds left on the penalty. It is a face-off in the Falcons zone, so they have a chance at the quick goal as they got from Brody Waters earlier in the game. Shots on goal battle, still 9 shot on goal lead for Western. Production line for the Falcons is still out. They win. Brody Waters again with the chance. That one is cleared, way out of play and into the bleachers. Waters again off the draw, but this one was in tight with Cameron Rowe. And Rowe is able to get a stick on it. Faceoff will go to the far wheel to the right of Cameron Rowe. Imonen again. Out of all the faceoffs to win, this is the one. 7 seconds left in the penalty. 6-2 the score. He wins it. Wastes some time. Parker goes back and gets it. Ryan O'Hara. They need to get it over the middle before the man comes out of the box. The man is out of the box and immediately gets the puck. Passes it over the middle to Owen Michaels. Michaels loses it to Eric Parker. Waters into the zone. Imonen looking for the body, presses it up, gets the puck free. Seth Fighton. Back to Nick Ohaneson. Ohaneson to Stjernberg. Stjernberg across to Fighton. Perfectly placed pass. Back to Stjernberg. Stjernberg puts on a hit. It's puck free to Ohaneson. Ohaneson, another hit. Now it's in the D zone for the Falcons. Ohaneson up to Seth Fighton. Now Jaden Grant pushes it into the O zone. Niedermeyer up the ice to Zach Sharp. Sharp, the defenseman. Across, leaves it for McKinley. McKinley behind. Falcons looking for their third goal of the day. Looking for, or to narrow the deficit as much as possible. Make the game look better on the scoreboard. Messick now up through the zone. He gets it to Sharp. Sharp at the blue line, near side. Brings it all the way around. Alec bumped against the boards. McKinley up. Now the Falcons are taking it themselves. Brett Foe going coast to coast. Flips it into the zone to avoid the offsides. Leaves it for Duran. Duran, good play. Crosses it over the middle into the slot, but it's cleared away from Western Michigan. Emerson into Duran. Duran chasing again on the forecheck. Brett Foe pressing against the boards. The orange and brown come up with the puck. Ben Duran into the zone. Offside warning, so the guys have to clear. They do. Warning is taken away. Alex Bump again. Loses the blade of his skate. Gets it up through the zone. It's a race to the puck. Maxwell Martin showing off his speed, trying to get there in time, but it's icing, and the faceoff will go to the Falcon zone. 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to play. BG trailing by 4. It's not looking good that this will be the first win for the Falcons in the last 2 years. Ethan Scardina. Four for 13 on faceoffs today. Rough day for a guy that has generally been very good on draws. Shot is blocked by Brett Foe. Over and across to Maxwell Martin. Martin up through the zone. Scardina goes for the body. Puts a hit on, but they get it away. Western's defensemen get to Valeni. Valeni up, looking for a pass. Glove from Sternberg, knocked away. Not off the glove to avoid the hand pass. Pressing against the boards. Defensive change for Western as the forwards are keeping it in the zone. Now they're ready and they clear it back out. But the Falcons turn it over. Väisänen now leaves it in the zone. They go for a forward line change with Väisänen and Scholand on the ice, the starting defensive core. Up to Fighton. Fighton near side, loses control of the puck in the snow in front of the benches. Kind of got to avoid that space as Seth Fighton wears a hit, gets the puck away. Alex Bump now to Lemire. Lemire looking for a way into the zone. Fighton playing the man. Oh, pushing and shoving at the end of that one and talking a little bit as well. Breck McKinley up to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer up. Jaden Grant pushes. Robbie Drasner up to Zach Sharp. Sharp in the zone. Parker calms down the puck behind his own net. Cole Moore has not had a lot to do in the last few minutes. It's been a lot of time in transition, just back and forth, back and forth. Cameron Rowe puts a stick on this one for the first time in a few minutes as well. Pass across goes to Ohaneson. Willie obviously looking for a defensive change as Ohaneson did not play in the first 2 periods, has played now in the third, quite a sizable amount. This one with speed, Owen Michaels into the zone. Nice cross, fanned on the shot. Knocks it over to Brody Waters. Waters gets it away to the point, just farther away from his goaltender. Wozni settles the puck. Joe Ohaneson. Ohaneson near side, taking it all the way up. Pass clean to Ryan O'Hara. O'Hara up off the glass. Rolls along the half wall, finds the ice in the zone. Quinn Emerson, he might have had a steal there and a good chance, but just inches away from his stick. BG is not able to penetrate the 2 defenders playing back at all times for Western Michigan, and why wouldn't you if you were the Broncos? Because you sport a 4-goal lead. Valente into the zone, mugged by Maxwell Martin with good stick skills. Pasanen to Norris. Norris rings it all the way around, and icing will be the call because it didn't hit a Falcon stick. And with 8 minutes left, the Falcons will take a face-off inside their own zone to the left of Cole Moore. Moore had 25 saves, has 25 saves, 6 goals allowed, .806 save percentage, 2 power play goals. And again, it's not truly the story of the game because some defensive breakdowns have affected his ability to stop goals in a manner that you might expect to be better from the Falcon defense. But 6 goals for the Falcons, 6 goals for the Broncos, 2 goals for the Falcons. 8 minutes left in the third period. We head to the media timeout on WBGU 88.1 FM.
BGSU hockey resumes regular season play on the road against Western Michigan on Thursday, October 17th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's voice of Falcon hockey, Ben Korek, at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for puck drop on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Wake up every weekday with WBGU and The Morning Show. The Morning Show is a community resource for weekly events, news, sports, weather, interviews with community officials and organizations, birthday and anniversary announcements, and more. The Morning Show broadcasts live, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Listen live every weekday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. locally on 88.1 FM or streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Both teams off the bench after the media timeout, but the score has not changed. It is still 6 for Western Michigan, 2 for Bowling Green, and the Lawson Ice Arena and Kalamazoo, the first away broadcast of the 2024-2025 season. Falcon Media Sports Network is happy to host it and all other BGSU hockey broadcasts on WBGU 88.1 FM. Tommy Possonen is getting bullied behind Cole Moore. He gets the puck away to Ben Duran. Ben Duran leaves it for Quinn Emerson. Emerson can't get it out of the zone. Goes for the second try. Can't do it there either. Constantini with a strong stick keeps it in. Constantini again working it around. Push up from Ben Duran. Not big, but mighty. Defense has looked a lot better for the Falcons, even on defensive stands. Now Brett Foe is in through the zone. Nice toe drag. Got some space. Did he get it? Yes, he did. So many bodies in front of the net, I couldn't tell if Brett Foe was able to fill it, but he had a little toe drag across, and the argument is being from Western Michigan that the orange and brown were standing in the crease as that goal was scored, which would have nullified, but I don't think we're going to have a review happen unless the Western Michigan bench challenges in the 6-3 game. I find it hard to believe they would. Brett Foe, if it stands, gets credit for the goal. They have yet to announce it in the Lawson Ice Arena because the play is under review for goaltender interference, and unfortunately I think that will be the call. Looking at it here on the screen, yep, Quinn Emerson was standing in the crease. So that goal will be called back unless a drastic turn of events happens in the next couple seconds with the booth review in the penalty box. Referees Andrew Wilk and Andy Thackerberry looking at this one. Linesman Christopher Williams and Logan Belgraf discussing with the benches what the play will be after this goal is probably overturned. Brett Foe takes it on the near side, skips it way across, goes from right side to left side of the goal and fills it, but Quinn Emerson was standing in the goal, both feet in the blue, when the shot was taken. And thus, as Andrew Wilk, the official, says, it is a no goal. So the faceoff will be in the Western Michigan D zone. I'm sorry, in the neutral zone on the Western Michigan favored side. But the goal will be taken off the board. Brett Foe gets no credit. Again, we remind you our goal picks for today's game. Nick Winholtz chose Brett Foe, but that's heartbreaking turn of events for him, as Foe didn't get credit for a goal. Tyler Kavalich chose Maxwell Martin, who has yet to find the back of the net. And Dalton Norris, who was my pick for the day, has yet to find the back of the net either. If we had chose Brody Waters or Ben Duran, we would have a point each, but there's no cigar on this one, at least so far. 6 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. Shot is high. Colmore gloves it, opts for another face-off. VG needs a goal per minute and 20 or so seconds to stay into this one. The skaters with the shovels are on the ice for the Falcons. We'll stick with you through this and discuss some stats as we have them. It is the same as we had going into the third period. Liam Valente and Zach Naring have 2 goals apiece, with Owen Michaels and Alex Bump rounding it out with 1 apiece. 2 power play goals for Western Michigan. They're 2 for 2 on power plays. The Falcons 1 for 2, an early power play goal from Ben Duran, and then a missed opportunity on the penalty accumulated from Una Väisänen. Assists for Western Michigan, 3 from Sam Scholand, the defenseman, coming into this game. In the 2 games that Western Michigan have played, he has only 1. The junior has 16 in his career. He's added 3 to that today. Next closest is Cole Krusberg-Rosine, who has 2 assists on the day, and a lot of points distributed all around, especially on assists. On the side of the Falcons, Brody Waters and Ben Duran have a goal each. Brett Foe, Ville Imonen, and Ben Wozni with an assist, as well as Cole Moore. You can't forget the assist from number 34, who has not had the best day in the net. It's one that you want to eat your Wheaties and go home. 6 goals allowed, 28 saves, which is solid, but for an .824 save percentage, 2 power play goals allowed. And more so than Cole Moore's performance in the net is the defensive breakdowns for the Falcons that have resulted in a lot of unfortunate wide open shots and a lot of goals, especially on power plays. This one goes up and through the zone. Brian Kramer dumps it. Might be a icing call. Yes, it is off of the stick of Brian Kramer, so the faceoff will go into the Western Michigan end, which is beneficial for the Falcons, trying to get again on the board. Brody Waters with the first goal off of the draw from Ville Imonen. Second goal coming on a power play from Ben Duran on a beautiful pass from Brett Foe, who took it behind row in the net for Western Michigan, scooped it back to the front, and a good fill from Ben Duran, and then that is all the points that we have had up until this point. Shot from Ryan O'Hara, tried to be bumped down by Ethan Scardina. Scardina now passes it back up to the point, kept in by Breck McKinley on good stick work. Stjernberg now presses against the boards, trying to keep the puck in the zone, but can't do it. Brian Kramer up the ice, leaves it for Stjernberg. Stjernberg up back to McKinley. McKinley takes it through. Leaves it cross to Ben Duran. Ben Duran is a goal scorer in this game. One of only 2 the Falcons have scored in their 6-2 deficit. Ben Duran clips it across to Brett Foe. Foe puts on a hit. Zach Sharp holds onto the puck. Now another hit from Brody Waters to Zach Sharp. Cross-checking and high frustration from Brody Waters and Zach Sharp. The referee is telling them to stop, and they finally do. More pushing and shoving, as that was a high-intensity battle on the boards for that puck between Waters and the Bronco. Waters now again up, being bullied by Zach Sharp, and they both skate off to the bench with words exchanged between the 2 of them. Messick leaves it in the zone. The orange and brown now have a decent chance. Jackson Niedermeyer, first time he's been on the ice in a while. This one crossed over. Ohanesen keeps it in the zone. Väisänen, where's a hit? Oh, that was crushing from Seth Fighton. Niedermeyer again back to Quinn Emerson. Emerson leaves it in the zone, but the Falcons have to retreat because Western holds on to this one cleanly. Up into Alex Bump. Bump back into the defensive zone. They can waste as much time as possible because there's less than 4.5 minutes left to play in this period, and they're up by 4 goals. This one is kicked away from Cole Moore. Finds a stick of an orange and brown defenseman. Maxwell Martin gaining possession. Leaves it for Alex Bump. Bump is hit behind the net. Western Michigan holds on to the puck. Sauce pass in to Alex Bump. It's kept away. Maxwell Martin showing off his superior skating. Gets to that puck in the neutral zone. Alex Bump on the near side looking for a pass. Sends it wide left of the net. Again, another shot to Cole Moore. This one will be a shot on goal and a save as it goes off the 6'6" sized pad. The leg guard of Cole Moore. Scardina back around, intercepted by Martin. Martin keeps it in the zone. Back to Scardina. Scardina, the shot is blocked by Zach Sharp. Good defensive position. Sharp gets it around. Eric Parker into the zone. The Falcons have played much better on offense, but because of the two-man back defensive stronghold for Western Michigan, they're unable to penetrate it as this pass from Western sails long, and it prompts a face-off in the Western Michigan zone. 3 minutes left to play. 6-2 is still the score. BG running out of time to add any goals, but I don't believe that the outcome of the game will be changed based on the next 3 minutes, maybe only the score and the stats that have been accrued. Western leads in shots on goal by 12, 37-25. They lead in goals scored by 4. Ryan O'Hara now in the zone. Breck McKinley flashing sticks across to Imonen. Imonen gets it to O'Hara. O'Hara back to McKinley. McKinley leaves it across, shoots for a rebound. Brody Waters fighting for it now, but he's mugged. And Zach Naring, a defensive-sized forward, 6'5", puts a hit on the boards, gets the puck free. Bowling Green still relentless in the zone. Seth Fighton is being held onto, but no penalty is called by the referees. Valente into the zone. Orange and brown fighting near side boards. Ben Duran leaves it for Fighton. Fighton across to Foe. Foe to Fighton. Fighton off the leg of Liam Valente. Valente to Brett Foe. Brett Foe just narrowly avoids the tripping but turns the puck over. Now a 2-on-1. Valente pass across. No chance. Brett Foe lays all the way out and tips that puck up into the air. Dalton Norris up the ice into the neutral zone. Seth Fighton still on the ice. Now he goes for the line change. Minute 45 left to play in the third period. Shot is high from Western Michigan. Constantini in and through. The shot is blocked by the Falcons. Niedermeyer wears it like it's nothing. Takes this one up into the neutral zone. Loses it again. Eric Parker subs off the bench, touches the puck, gets back on. That was an odd line change for the Falcons. They just narrowly avoided another too many men on the ice. Minute 20 left to play in the third period. Some of the Bowling Green faithful picking up and leaving. Some of the Western Michigan faithful as well, because they understand that this game is out of the reach of the Falcons. Broncos have dominated offensively in the first two periods, especially the second, in which they scored 4 goals. Now have dominated defensively in the third period, sporting a 4-goal buffer. Quinn Emerson into the zone. No offsides. Jaden Grant back around. Niedermeyer to Emerson. Emerson with 1 minute left. Out to the point. Niedermeyer again fighting. Transfer from Arizona State. Presses into the boards. Back to Parker. Looking for another goal. Shorten the deficit. Make this game look better on the scorecard. This one in, but offside warning. Touched by a Falcon. And the play will leave the zone. 44.2 seconds left to play in the third period on a game that the Falcons are probably more than likely going to want to forget. They head into New York for Saturday's game against Rochester Institute of Technology, a home and home. They play Rochester Institute of Technology in the Slater Family Ice Arena later in the season, so it'll be a precursor of that game. We will not have a broadcaster there, unfortunately. Rochester is just a little bit out of our traveling realm. Kabanoff now to Duran. Duran across to McKinley. McKinley can't hold on to the pass as well as he would have hoped. Less than 30 seconds left to play. Western Michigan with another drive, but they turn it back over to good stick work by Ben Duran. Maxwell Martin, Matvey Kabanoff. Probably the last shift for the Falcons. 15 seconds left to play. Lazy playing from Western Michigan as a cursory shot is shot from Valente, who is gloved by Cole Moore. 8 seconds left, as you may be able to hear the student section chant here in Lawson Ice Arena in Kalamazoo, Michigan. .38 shots on goal to 25 shots on goal for the Falcons. A lead of 13 for Western Michigan. Face-off won by Bowling Green. Everybody skating defensively for Western Michigan. 3-2-1. And the game ends. And the 4-goal deficit and the misery is over for the Bowling Green State University Falcons. They lose to the Western Michigan Broncos in opponent ice 6-2. We'll step away, bring you short post-game on WBGU 88.1 FM.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.
BGSU hockey travels to New York to take on Rochester Institute of Technology Saturday, October 19th at 7:07 p.m. Check out bgfalconmedia.com for Falcon Media Sports Network's recap of the event.
BGSU football looks to get back in the win column as they battle Kent State on Saturday, October 19th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Carter Leonard and Artie Abrego on the call from the Doit, starting at 3:15 for pregame and 3:30 p.m. for kickoff on Falcon Radio.
It's a game that Bowling Green hockey would rather forget. They traveled all the way to Kalamazoo, Michigan to play Western Michigan and lost in 3 periods, 6 goals for the Broncos, 2 for the Falcons. I'm Ben Korak from the Falcon Media Sports Network, who walked you through this game between the Broncos and the Falcons. Again, like I said, the Falcons, it's just one that you'd like to forget. They started out very strong, especially the first 10 minutes of the first period. It was even scoring. They had a lot of great chances, a lot of breakaways. Weren't able to get it past Cameron Rowe yet. They gave up 2 defensive breakdown goals to Zach Nehring. And then the wheels started turning for the Falcons. They got 2 of their own goals back-to-back, one in the first period from Brody Waters off of the quick draw from Ville Imonen, and then one in a power play format in the second period from Ben Duran that tied it up at 2-2. And then the wheels fell off the wagon for the Falcons as Western Michigan scored 4 straight goals in the second period, the highest scoring period of the day, 5 total goals scored. None scored in the third period, and the game would end 6-2 as a final score. Again, the goals for the Falcons, Brody Waters and Ben Duran. Assists for Ben Wozni, Brett Foe, Ville Imonen, and Cole Moore, the goaltender, who had a decent day in the goal. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. On the side of the Broncos, 2 goals for Liam Valente and Zach Nehring, 1 for Owen Michaels and Alex Bump. That brings us up to 6 on the day. 1 assist from Alex Bump. as well as the goals. Luke Valente and Zach Naring also recorded an assist, and then 2 assists from Cole Krusberg-Rosine and 3 assists from Sam Scholand on the defense of Western Michigan. On the side of the goalies and inside of the crease, 2 goals allowed, 23 saves, a .920 save percentage from Cameron Rowe, continuing his outstanding streak of goaltending with Western Michigan. The senior has just been outstanding and should be expected to start the rest of the games of this season for Western Michigan. And then the Bowling Green keeper, Cole Moore, 6 goals allowed on 33 saves for an .846 save percentage, 2 power play goals allowed, so 2 of them with a slight asterisk next to them because there was a man advantage for Western Michigan, and then also 2 of them coming with extreme defensive breakdowns on the side of the Falcons, leaving Cole Moore out to dry. He did have an impressive game otherwise. He had some great saves here and there. 33 saves is 10 more than Cameron Rowe, although 4 more goals were allowed inside of the net of the Falcons. So Falcons not able to come away with the win. They dropped to 2-1 on the season. They head to Rochester, New York for Rochester Institute of Technology. Bowling Green will not, or the Falcon Media Sports Network will not have a broadcast of that game. However, we will have a post-game recap available at bgfalconmedia.com or bg_FMSN on Twitter. And then to listen to the rebroadcast of the game, in case you missed the first couple of periods, go to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel as well. Special thanks to Tyler Kavlitz and Nick Windholtz. Tyler, who ran the board, and Nick and Tyler, who did our intermission reports. They are quite outstanding. I love doing the intermission reports and getting some second opinions until I get a color guy in the booth with me. I did forget to talk about our goal picks for today. None of them ended up panning out. Nick Windholtz was the closest with his pick of Brett Foe, who almost got a goal toward the end of the game, but Quinn Emerson was called for goalie interference, and the goal was not counted. So Nick avoids a win off of the unfortunate error from Brett Foe and Quinn Emerson. Tyler Kavlitz's was Maxwell Martin, who wasn't able to find the back of the net, and mine was Dalton Norris, who also wasn't able to find the back of the net. So we will see you again next week against Ohio State on a Friday and Saturday series. We will have the call of both games in Ohio State and at home in the Slater Family Ice Arena, and we will see you next time on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU hockey.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to bgfalconmedia.com.